Land of Waves, on the half-built bridge, Team 7 clashed fiercely with Zabuza Mamachi and his masked apprentice, Haku. Kakashi fought toe-to-toe with Zabuza while shielding Tazuna and Sakura, holding the swordsman at bay and preventing him from harming their client. Both were evenly matched, neither gaining the upper hand, steel clashing against jutsu in a deadly stalemate. Meanwhile, Naruto and Sasuke faced a far worse predicament. Trapped inside Haku's dome of shimmering ice mirrors, they struggled to survive. Every surface reflected Haku's figure, making it impossible to tell where he would strike from next. Despite their combined efforts, the mirrors withstood all attacks, and the two genin found themselves huddled in the center, searching for a way out. The two boys looked somewhat similar in appearance, though unrelated by blood. Sasuke Uchiha, dressed in a dark blue shirt with white shorts and bandaged shins, wore his forehead protector proudly. His raven-black hair, oddly shaped at the back, and his dark eyes marked his heritage. Beside him stood Naruto Uzumaki, clad in his trademark orange jumpsuit with a kunai holster strapped to his leg, his golden hair spiky and untamed, his blue eyes glaring in frustration. Both dodged desperately as needles of ice shot toward them. Sasuke, however, noticed something strange. The Senbin seemed slower, his vision tracking them with growing clarity. In that instant, his eyes shifted, turning crimson as his clan's legacy awakened. His Sharingan flared to life, one Tomo in the left eye and two in the right. While Sasuke quickly analyzed the battlefield, Haku shifted his aim toward Naruto. Sasuke, distracted by planning, caught sight of Haku's attack too late. With Naruto cornered, curled into himself in fear, 5 Senbin were already slicing through the air toward him. Without thinking, Sasuke's body moved on its own. Chakra burst from his legs as he launched forward, placing himself in front of Naruto and taking the barrage. Haku's intention had been to incapacitate, but Sasuke's sudden movement turned the strikes lethal. 2 pierced between his ribs into his lungs. Another sank into his liver. One speared through his sternum and grazed his heart, and the last embedded deep in his stomach. Naruto, trembling and balled up, realized something was wrong when no pain came. Instead, he heard the sound of needles piercing flesh. Opening his eyes, he saw Sasuke collapse backward into his arms. Shock and horror twisted Naruto's expression as he stared at the gravely wounded boy he considered both rival and friend. "Sasuke, why would you do that?" Naruto cried out, voice breaking. Coughing blood, Sasuke forced out in a ragged tone, "I don't know. My body just moved." "Enno, don't talk. You'll be fine, just hold on," Naruto began, but Sasuke raised a weak hand to silence him. "Listen, Naruto, these might be my last words, so shut up and let me speak." His breaths grew shallow. "My dream was always to kill Itachi. When I was 8, he slaughtered my whole family. I swore vengeance. But after being on this team, your stupid optimism rubbed off on me. Itachi wanted me to live with hatred, to give up everything for revenge. I see now, that's exactly what he wanted for his amusement. But you made me realize, I don't need to give him that satisfaction. I could have rebuilt my clan instead of throwing my life away." His voice weakened further as his eyelids drooped. "Naruto, one of us has to see our dream through. You'll give everything to protect people, while I would have thrown everything away for revenge. Live, Naruto. Carry both our dreams. Our rivalry made me stronger. You pushed me harder than anyone else. You did more for me than my own brother ever did." His eyes glazed over, the last bit of strength leaving him. "That's why I can honestly say you're more of a brother than Itachi ever was." With that final whisper, Sasuke's body went limp. Naruto's tears finally spilled, falling onto his rival's face. Haku, expression unreadable behind his mask, spoke coldly. "He fell with honor. To die in battle in the arms of a comrade is more than most shinobi get. Be grateful, but our fight isn't finished, Naruto. I cannot let you harm Zabuza." "Shut you p!" Naruto roared, voice shaking with rage and grief. "You monster," he growled. "You killed my best friend. I'll never forgive you. I'll make sure you pay." Naruto's body trembled violently, power bursting from him. It wasn't ordinary chakra, yet it radiated like raw killing intent. The ground cracked as pebbles floated upward, electricity crackling around the bridge. Across the land of waves, people felt the terrifying energy surge. Zabuza and Kakashi, what the hell is this energy? Zabuza thought, eyes narrowing. It feels like chakra but darker, like raw bloodlust. It isn't me, and it sure as hell isn't Kakashi. Then who? Kakashi's single eye widened under his headband. This pressure, enormous, suffocating. It's not Zabuza. Sakura and Tazuna feel it too. Sasuke's down that only leaves Naruto. Is the seal breaking? Damn, if that fox is loose, I'll have to kill him myself, just like Minato-sensei intended. Inside Naruto's mind on the outside, Naruto shook with rage. On the inside, he suddenly found himself in a dim sewer, ankle-deep in water, candles flickering along the walls. Confused but following instinct, he walked until he reached a massive barred gate, sealed with a paper tag that read seal. Behind it loomed a colossal fox, eyes burning red, 9 tails swaying lazily. The beast sneered. So the weak little brat finally comes to face me, eh? Naruto glared. Shut it, furball, I'm not here for your games, I want chakra, now. The fox chuckled darkly. 5 years since you last showed your face, and no hello, no manners. You're a terrible host. Naruto snapped, shouting, Cut the crap, Kyuubi. I swore I'd never use your power, but I don't care anymore. That bastard killed Sasuke. Give me your damn chakra. The fox's grin widened. You've grown some fangs, kid. Fine, I'll do more than lend you chakra, I'll unlock what your father sealed away. Naruto froze. My father, you mean the Fourth Hokage. What are you talking about? Exactly. Minato Namikaze locked not only me but your bloodline as well. You're not just human, brat, you've got something far greater in your veins. I'll awaken it, details later. For now, use it to crush your enemy. Naruto scowled. Why help me? You tried to destroy Konoha. The fox growled. That attack wasn't what it seemed. Long before your kind, we bid you roamed these lands, keeping demons at bay. Then humans came. I learned of a group hunting us and went to stop them, but your village's fools attacked me first. I fought back, and here I am, sealed inside you. Now stop wasting time. Take this power and finish the fight. With a blast of energy, the Kyuubi hurled Naruto back into reality. Naruto's body was still convulsing as his power surged wildly, the violent thunderstorm overhead showing no signs of calming. The river beneath the bridge churned violently, waves crashing harder as sections of the structure cracked apart, fragments scattering like gravel. Slowly, Naruto rose from his knees, where he had been staring at Sasuke, his head bowed. His movements grew erratic, jerking his head upward toward the sky and back down, twitching unnaturally. Each time his head snapped upward, his hair shifted to a brilliant golden hue, spiking upward like a blazing flame, and his eyes gleamed with a teal glow. When he looked downward, his eyes briefly turned blank white before he screamed to the heavens, his transformation locking in place. His golden hair and glowing eyes remained, while a fiery yellow aura radiated around his body. Naruto turned his gaze toward Haku, his glare carrying nothing but the promise of torment and death. In a blur, he launched forward, vanishing from sight and reappearing against the icy mirrors. He leapt onto the second row and struck where Haku's face had been. Haku barely avoided the blow, leaping away, but when he looked ahead, Naruto was already waiting for him. With a swift swing, Naruto's left hook slammed into Haku, sending him crashing through another mirror, the force carrying him across the bridge where he skidded to a stop as shards of ice rained down. Haku glanced back at the collapsing dome, only to see Naruto kneeling beside Sasuke, his glowing hand pressed against his teammate's chest. Naruto's aura engulfed Sasuke, causing steam to rise as embedded senbon needles were forced out. Sasuke's wounds closed rapidly before the aura faded back into Naruto's body. Without hesitation, Naruto stood tall, his glare fixed on Haku. In the next instant, he vanished and reappeared directly in front of him, driving his fist forward with his full strength. The punch pierced clean through Haku's torso, tearing a massive hole before Naruto withdrew his arm. Haku slid off his fist lifelessly, his body collapsing to the ground. Naruto flexed, causing his blazing aura to erupt once more, flames dancing around his form. With a primal scream, his power spiked even further, the sheer force of it sweeping the mist away with a violent gust. As the fog cleared and sunlight illuminated the battlefield, Naruto spotted Kakashi and Zabuza locked in combat, and in a blink, he blurred out of sight, reappearing beside them. Kakashi had just unleashed his earth style. Tracking Fang Jutsu, his summoned hounds erupting from underground, following the scent of his blood left on Zabuza's weapon. The dogs lunged, clamping their jaws around Zabuza, pinning him down and immobilizing him. "You're caught now," Kakashi said coldly. "First I'll kill you and then finish off the real monster." Performing a quick set of seals, he grabbed his right wrist, palm down, as lightning chakra surged in his hand, crackling violently. "For all your crimes, Zabuza, you die here. Raikiri, Kakashi declared. But just as he was about to strike, a chilling scream echoed across the battlefield. Both men turned to see Haku lying lifeless on the ground, with a golden-haired figure standing over him. As the mist cleared, the blonde vanished and reappeared in front of Zabuza, slamming his fist into Zabuza's chest with devastating force. His ribcage caved in at an unnatural angle, a gruesome crunch echoing as Zabuza's eyes widened in shock. Withdrawing his fist, Naruto let the man collapse in a heap, the summoned hounds disappearing instantly. Witnessing this, Kakashi thought grimly, the demon killed Zabuza. Perfect, now I can use this as my excuse to put him down. Charging forward with Rikiri, Kakashi aimed for Naruto's heart. But Naruto, lost to his overwhelming power, instantly sensed the hostility and barely evaded the thrust. Catching Kakashi's wrist, Naruto hurled him across the bridge, slamming him into the railing as the lightning technique dispersed. Before Kakashi could recover, Gato arrived with a swarm of hired thugs, sneering at Zabuza and Haku's corpses. "Pathetic," he mocked. "All this trouble for nothing." His admission about hiring them to kill Tazuna reached Naruto's ears, filling him with boiling rage. His power spiked again, his aura blazing like a storm. Sakura and Tazuna turned pale as they spotted the incoming mob, fear tightening their chests. Naruto's expression, however, promised carnage. With a growl, he snapped, "That's it, you pig. I'll drag you to hell myself." Gato only laughed. "Double the pay to whoever kills the blonde brat." The mob roared and rushed forward, but Naruto smirked. "You idiots, this is going to be fun." He darted forward into the fray, unleashing sheer brutality. The first bandit lunged with a pitchfork, but Naruto sidestepped, seizing the weapon's shaft and yanking the man into a devastating slam. Using the man's body as a battering ram, Naruto swung him into several others before hurling him aside. Another thug swung a wooden board down at him, but Naruto shattered it with his bare hand before slamming his forehead into the man's chest. Pivoting, he kicked another attacker straight off his feet, then flipped over a third who tried to grab him, chopping into his neck to render him unconscious. Crouching, Naruto tore a chunk of the bridge free and hurled it, scattering the mob and clearing his path to Gato. Without hesitation, he blurred forward, his fist driving clean through Gato's body, empowered by his burning energy. He didn't linger to watch the aftermath. Even as he tore through the mob, Naruto thought darkly, "I can't waste time. If Kakashi recovers and sees this, he'll use it as a reason to have me executed. I should just kill him now, but that would only prove them right. Damn it, I need to finish this fast." In a blur, Naruto vanished from sight, reappearing among the bandits as bodies suddenly split open, blood spraying from chests, necks, and throats. One by one, they fell until the last man collapsed with a gaping hole in his torso. Naruto emerged behind him, his arms and legs dripping crimson. When he turned back, Kakashi stood frozen in shock, Sakura trembled in horror, and Tazuna looked on with stunned gratitude. At that moment, Inari arrived with the villagers. They gasped at the scene, the corpses of Gato's men, and Gato's severed head among them. Though relieved, some villagers whispered suspicion, wondering if this blonde killer had slain Gato only to seize control himself. Tazuna rushed forward, voicing the question on everyone's mind. "We thank you for freeing us from Gato's tyranny, but who are you really?" Naruto's voice rang out, strong and certain. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Remember it, Gato is finished, and as long as I live, no tyrant like him will harm this land again." The villagers erupted with cheers, overjoyed at their freedom. While they celebrated, Naruto walked toward Sakura. Instead of concern, she snapped, "Where's Sasuke-kun?" Ignoring everything about Naruto's transformation. Naruto lowered his head. "I'm sorry, Sakura, I couldn't reach him in time." Smack. Sakura's palm cracked across his face. "You monster, you let Sasuke-kun die. You're nothing but a demon, just like my mother and everyone else always said. I wish you had died instead of him." But before anyone could speak, coughing broke the silence. They turned to see Sasuke stirring. "Sasuke-kun!" Sakura shrieked, rushing to him with tears streaming. Ignoring her fussing, Sasuke walked over to Naruto, taking in his golden hair and glowing eyes. "What happened while I was unconscious?" he asked. Naruto gave a weary smirk. "That's something you'll have to ask me again when I wake up." With that, he collapsed into unconsciousness. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto found himself once again in the dim sewer of his mindscape, approaching the massive bars of the Kyuubi's cage. Looking up, he demanded, "All right, Fox. No more games. Tell me the truth. How do I fit into all this?" The Ninetales exhaled heavily, its eyes narrowing. "This will take a while, boy. Your bloodline isn't ordinary. Your ancestors belonged to a warrior race known as the Saiyans. Combat was in their very essence. Their strength grew each time they survived near death. Their bodies were made for nothing but battle." The beast growled as it continued. "A tyrant named Frieza enslaved your entire race, forcing them to conquer worlds so he could sell them off. One Saiyan, Bardock, was a low-ranking fighter with power rivaling the elites. Many dismissed him, but that arrogance was their undoing. His squad wiped out enemies even Frieza's top warriors feared. They foresaw their own end. They knew Bardock's team, their faces, their tactics, but they also knew defeating them would change nothing. If Bardock's squad fell, more Saiyans would come. Before their leader died, however, he forced his gift of foresight onto Bardock." The Kyuubi's voice darkened. When word reached Frieza that a mere low-class warrior crushed foes beyond his elites, fear took root. He knew rebellion was brewing. Bardock's squad was slaughtered soon after, while Bardock himself was away, witnessing the birth of his son. He learned of their deaths only through his scouter, hearing the screams of his best friend as he was obliterated. Naruto squinted his eyes and muttered, "Wait a second. Frieza ruled over their entire race like slaves, yet he was terrified of them." Exactly. There was this story passed around about a Saiyan unlike the rest. He didn't have the usual black hair. His power grew so much that his hair turned golden and his eyes shifted to a greenish blue, like what yours became. They called him a Super Saiyan. I know it sounds like some overhyped myth, but the strength that came with it was unmatched. Frieza never admitted it publicly, but he absolutely believed in the legend. Deep down, he was terrified that one Saiyan would unlock that form and send him straight to hell where he belonged. Anyway, back to the tale. Bardock, one of the Saiyans, received a vision through his foresight ability. In that vision, he saw Frieza destroying their homeworld. Bardock rushed to warn the others, but they were too busy drinking and celebrating some festival to listen. Desperate, Bardock launched himself into space and confronted Frieza directly as he was preparing the attack. He managed to take out a few of Frieza's soldiers and even fought Frieza himself, but he was crushed with ease. Then Frieza unleashed the blast that wiped out the entire planet. The ones who managed to survive were Prince Vegeta, his guards Nappa and Raditz, who happened to be Bardock's son. Bardock's infant son, Kakarot, better known as Goku, had been sent away just hours before the destruction. On top of that, two other Saiyans, Paragus and Broly, also lived through it. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Hold it. How could Bardock even breathe in space? How did Frieza pull a planet-busting attack out of nowhere? And what does any of this have to do with me? Patience, I'm getting to that. Basically, when Goku was a child, his pod landed on a world called Earth. Naruto interrupted. Why would you say a world named Earth? This planet is called Calm down. There are countless worlds populated by humans, and oddly enough, all of them named their planet Earth. Must be some universal flaw in evolution. Anyway, Goku was adopted by an old man named Gohan. At first, Goku was a violent little brat, but after falling off a cliff and hitting his head, his Saiyan instincts were wiped clean. He forgot his past and grew up kind-hearted. Over time, he made friends, trained, and became a protector of his new home. That's the short version, kid. But you still haven't explained my part in this, Naruto said impatiently. That's because your father was a Saiyan too. In fact, he was a distant descendant of Goku himself and ended up on this world for reasons even I don't fully know. The only reason I learned about your bloodline was because I cornered him when he first arrived here, and he spilled everything. Naruto frowned. Those powers they had, it sounds similar to chakra but feels different. What exactly is it? It's called Kai and I'll be teaching you how to use it. Naruto sighed. Well, now what do we do? Listen, kid, I've got an idea. Your body took a serious hit from channeling that energy, so you'll be recovering for around 3 days. While we're stuck here, I can drill you in a combat style and teach you the basics of Kai. In this place, 1 week equals only a single day outside, so you'll gain tons of training time. Naruto grinned. Awesome, let's do this. Alright, first I'll show you a martial art called Taekwondo. It's an ancient style erased from history after the Sage of Six Paths introduced ninjutsu. The discipline focuses on defense, using leg strength as the longest and most powerful weapon of the body. Flexibility is key. I'll also give you chakra weights to enhance your kicks, speed, and punching power. Now change this mental space into a better battlefield. How am I supposed to do that? For Kami's sake, just imagine it and it'll take shape. With that, Naruto altered the mindscape into a grassy plain. Where the Kyubai's cage once stood appeared a figure, cloaked in black with a white shirt beneath, boots, and 9 tails waving behind him. Fox ears stood on his head, their tips white while the fur blazed blood-red. His crimson eyes gleamed, and he wore a black necklace along with matching wrist and ankle bands. The figure smirked. All right, boy, let's begin. First, I'll teach you the foundations of Kai, controlling it, launching energy blasts, and even flight. Over the next 3 days, Naruto learned how to shape and release Kai waves, control his energy, and grasp the basics of Taekwondo, skills the Kyuubi was a master in. Flying proved trickier. Naruto managed it in human form but failed when trying in his massive fox form. On top of that, Kyuubi instructed him in techniques like the Grand Fireball Jutsu, Ash Accumulation Jutsu, Great Breakthrough, Water Bullet, Revolving Split Earth Palm, and False Darkness. Time skip 3 days later, Naruto woke up in his bed at Tazuna's home. His clothes hadn't even been cleaned by his teammates, but instead of sulking, he dressed and went to the kitchen. Tazuna's family greeted him warmly, cheering and offering food. Sasuke smiled briefly before masking it with his usual cool attitude. Sakura scowled outright, while Kakashi wore his indifferent mask, though secretly, he was already scheming ways to either kill Naruto or remove him from the ninja ranks. After eating, Naruto slipped away for solo training. Sasuke followed 10 minutes later, claiming he also needed practice. He soon found Naruto in the middle of a clearing, surrounded by nearly 200 shadow clones armed with kunai. From the trees, Sasuke watched silently as Naruto prepared himself. Without a word, the clones all rushed him. Naruto calmly dodged the first strike, twisting his body and countering with a powerful kick that erased a clone in smoke. Another lunged, but he ducked under it, only to be hit from the side. Shaking it off, he noticed 2 clones preparing simultaneous kicks. He waited, ducked at the last moment, and the clones knocked each other out of existence. Then he spotted a clone forming energy in its palm, firing a glowing yellow orb at him. Narrowly evading, Naruto scowled. So that's how you want it? Fine, let's take it higher. He charged energy between his hands, forming twin spheres of light before releasing them as beams that ripped through clones, taking down dozens. Leaping high into the air, Naruto dodged incoming blasts, but the attacks turned upward, chasing him. Gravity eventually dragged them back, raining down toward the clones. Naruto countered some with his own blasts, creating explosions that wiped out even more. Soon only 30 clones remained. As he began falling, Naruto gathered Kai in his hands, unleashing a larger, more concentrated blast that slammed into the ground, creating a crater and obliterating the last clones. Breathing heavily, he landed, only to hear clapping. Sasuke emerged with a smirk. Walking over, Sasuke said, "Didn't expect that. You fought off 200 clones and still came out on top. That energy, though, it wasn't chakra. My Sharingan confirmed it." Naruto chuckled. "Well, Sasuke, here's the deal." He explained everything. After listening, Sasuke muttered, "Unbelievable. First you've got a demon fox sealed inside you, and now you find out you're part alien." Naruto warned, "Remember, that's an S-class secret. If you breathe a word of this, you'll be executed." Sasuke smirked. "Relax, the Uchiha clan had its own skeletons, your secret's safe, but in return you're teaching me Kai. That power's insane." "It is, but promise me this, Sasuke. If I train you, don't run off to kill your brother right away. There's no shame in waiting until you're strong enough. If you rush, Itachi will kill you, and that'll be the true end of the Uchiha name." Sasuke closed his eyes, reflecting. "You're right. I've been reckless. Itachi just wants to toy with me or use me for his own twisted goals. I'll still kill him one day, but until then, I'll live my life and grow stronger." Naruto smiled. "That's all I ask." With that, Naruto spent the rest of the day training Sasuke in Kai. Sasuke picked things up quickly, though like Naruto, he didn't master Kai control right away. Later that night inside Naruto's mindscape after saving Sasuke, Naruto went off to train on his own. He pushed himself over and over, but no matter what he did, the Super Saiyan form wouldn't return. Exhausted but determined, he wandered into the forests of Wave Country that night and began to meditate, slowly slipping deeper into his consciousness. His inner world appeared the same as he had left it during his previous training sessions. Walking over to the great tree where Kyuubi usually rested, Naruto called out to him. "Kyuubi, the only reason I managed to win on that bridge was because of the Super Saiyan transformation. I need to tap into it again. If I'm going to protect this world from the same fate my father's home planet suffered, I need to surpass him." Kyuubi lazily rose from under the tree and growled, "Brat, you're still far too weak to even think about saving this world. From what your father told me, his people, and their allies, believed that the Super Saiyan form awakens only once a Saiyan reaches a specific threshold of power. Your ancestor, Goku, broke through at a power level of 4 million. With each new generation, though, the blood thinned, and the requirement was cut down." The fox's eyes glowed as he continued, "For you, the threshold was 125,000. The only reason you reached it at all was because of that uncontrollable fury when you saw your closest friend die. That rage let you break the barrier. The transformation multiplies strength, speed, stamina, durability, everything, by 50 times. At best, you barely reached 6,250,000, a speck compared to what warriors on this world and others are capable of." Kyuubi's voice deepened. "Even in that form, you weren't stronger than Kakashi. When he fights at full power, like he did against Zabuza, his strength is around 10 million. You only managed because he was exhausted from battle and still recovering from his earlier clash. Compared to me, you're nothing. Even bound by this seal, with only 1% of my strength, I could crush you without effort." Naruto clenched his fists. "I didn't come here to be mocked. I came here because I want a way to defend my planet." Kyuubi sighed. "There is one option, but it's dangerous and painful. With my chakra, I could attempt to restructure your human DNA, reshaping it to mirror Saiyan traits. But it's risky. You'd only become half Saiyan at most. I've never seen one before, so the outcome is uncertain. Do you want to take that chance?" Naruto lowered his gaze, then raised it again with determination. "I'll do it. I want the strength to protect this world. My family has always defended others, and I will too." The fox smirked. "Then first, you'll have to alter the seal that restrains me. With it binding me, I don't have the power to reshape you. The control mechanism should be over there." He pointed to a jagged mountain range in the distance. "There you'll find the console that manages how much of my power can reach you." Naruto frowned. "But that's where you said the monsters lurk." "Exactly. They're guardians, preventing any intruder or manipulator from tampering with the seal. If you survive them, the console is yours. Consider it training." Taking a deep breath, Naruto muttered, "For the sake of Earth," and set out toward the mountains. Naruto's mindscape, Naruto sprinted through the inner forest until reaching a shoreline. To his right, a massive waterfall thundered down, while ahead stretched a wide river nearly 20 feet across. He crouched, dipping his hand in the current, fast and shallow. He stepped into the water, but immediately the surface rippled and rose. From it emerged 20 strange duck-like humanoids. They had webbed claws, long tails, crowned heads with 4 sharp points, red eyes, and glowing jewels between them. Naruto narrowed his eyes just as one fired a scarlet energy blast. He twisted his body aside at the last second and lunged at the nearest creature. It dodged and countered with its tail, knocking him back. Landing on his feet, Naruto retaliated with a Kai sphere, blasting one apart into water. He smirked. "This'll be simple." Charging energy into his palms, he unleashed a beam that dissolved the rest of them into water. But the moment he relaxed, the same 20 figures rose again from the river. With an annoyed sigh, Naruto formed 19 shadow clones. An all-out melee erupted, kicks, punches, claws, and water auras clashing. One clone landed a head strike, but the monster countered with a blue-charged headbutt, obliterating the clone instantly. Elsewhere, another clone destroyed one of the creatures, only to watch it reform behind him and slash him apart with extended claws. Meanwhile, the real Naruto drove one onto shore, only for it to blast him with another crimson beam. He countered with his own, pouring in more energy until he vaporized the creature completely. When it didn't reform, he realized something. With clone memories feeding him information, he turned to the waterfall. Gathering a massive energy charge, he blasted the rock wall. The explosion collapsed boulders into the lake, lowering the water. Naruto caught one huge stone and dragged it to block the river's mouth. With the flow cut off, the river dried up, and the water creatures dissolved permanently. "So they need water to survive," Naruto muttered with a grin. He pushed forward into the woods, channeling Kai into his legs to quadruple his speed, though the strain burned. At last, he reached the mountain. Stone gremlins hurled rocks at him, but Naruto, furious and impatient, hurled them aside as he climbed. At the peak, he spotted a strange control station. But before he reached it, an orange beam scorched the ground before him, leaving a deep ridge. Looking up, he saw a massive green dragon with black and yellow markings and crimson-trimmed fins. Behind it came another beast, a turquoise dragon with crimson markings, wings, and a pale underside. The turquoise monster roared and released a blazing yellow fire stream. Naruto countered with the fireball jutsu, but it wasn't enough. Pouring more chakra in, he barely managed to repel the flames, finally blasting the beast back. But before he could finish, the green one struck him from behind, sending him crashing into the turquoise dragon's path. Its fiery jet engulfed him, leaving him scorched and enraged. As he staggered up, his eyes began shifting from black to a bluish-green, golden streaks threading through his hair. The turquoise dragon lunged, but Naruto stopped it with his foot, halting the green one with his hand. Power flared violently, forming an invisible barrier that hurled them backward. He unleashed dual energy blasts, wounding both. The turquoise collapsed, while the green lost part of its fins but kept fighting. Driven by Saiyan instinct, Naruto soared into the air, slamming a punch between its eyes. As it reeled, he circled and blasted another section of its body. The beast gathered a glowing blue orb in its mouth and fired. Naruto darted frantically, dodging, but the blast curved back toward him. "Oh crap," he muttered before it struck, sending him plummeting into the mountain below. When he crashed down, Naruto realized he wasn't staring at the mountain peak anymore. Instead, his eyes landed on a warrior clad in blue and green battle armor, a bold red bandana tied around his head. A noticeable X-shaped scar ran across his left cheek. Red bands wrapped his wrists and ankles, while his shoes matched the blue and green of his armor. The man was charging fearlessly into a massive group of enemies. Even when more than 100 opponents swarmed him at once, his energy suddenly flared, blasting them away in a shockwave. Without hesitation, he flew straight toward a disc-shaped vessel in the sky. Hovering there, he gathered energy into his right hand, forming a deadly attack, and hurled it at the ship. From Naruto's angle, he couldn't see who the target was. The view was only from behind Bardock, so the enemy remained hidden. The scene shifted, showing another fighter who looked similar but distinct. This one lacked a scar and wore an orange martial gi with a blue undershirt, matching wristbands and dark boots. And honestly, if you don't recognize him, you probably shouldn't even be reading this story. The man drew both hands behind him, cupping energy while reciting a familiar chant. Kaya mi, haya mi, haya. At the final shout, his hands snapped forward, releasing a massive blue beam of energy. The blast surged ahead and struck a towering green opponent with antennae sprouting from his head, none other than Demon King Piccolo. The vision ended instantly. Naruto blinked, finding himself back on the mountain once again. The strange beast was still there, preparing to charge at him. His mind raced as he recalled the vision. Those attacks, maybe I can use them too, Naruto thought. He quickly funneled an immense amount of energy into his right palm until it was visibly glowing. The light condensed into a sphere that kept expanding larger and larger until his hand was no longer visible inside it. That was the moment the green monster lunged. Acting on pure instinct, Naruto felt a compulsion to call something out. Trusting his gut, he yelled, "Riot Javelin!" and launched the attack. It slammed into the creature, engulfing it in smoke and flames. Taking advantage of the smokescreen, Naruto plotted his next move. If that strike rattled it, then another hit to the head might finish the job. But I need a distraction. He formed the hand sign. Shadow Clone Jutsu. In an instant, dozens of Narutos surrounded him. Everyone hit it with everything you've got. Keep it busy, he commanded. The clones swarmed the monster from all sides, pushing it downward. One clone, waiting beneath the ground, used the underground projection fish technique to grab and drag the beast into the earth. Other clones dove underground to assist, while those on the surface continued hammering its head relentlessly. Finally, the beast dropped. The clones smirked. "It's all yours, boss," they said before dispersing into smoke. Now alone, Naruto concentrated power into his hands, cupping it behind him. He shouted, "Ka me, ha me, ha!" A blazing blue stream of energy erupted, striking the creature directly in the skull. The monster let out an ear-splitting roar before collapsing into unconsciousness. Landing softly, Naruto scanned the area. Wasting no time, he sprinted toward the console before any of the other beasts could recover. They looked oddly familiar to him, but he pushed the thought aside. At the panel, he quickly adjusted it so he could access more of the Kyubai's chakra. With that, he launched back toward the fox, evading the strange winged predators in the sky. Time skip. When he finally returned to the Kyubai, he found the beast casually whittling a piece of wood into the shape of a fox. Naruto blinked and asked, "What the hell are you doing?" "Carving." "Got a problem with that?" The fox shot back sarcastically. Naruto groaned, too worn out to argue. "Why didn't you tell me those monsters were that damn strong?" "I wouldn't know. The seal stops me from wandering more than 100 feet from here. And besides," Kyubai smirked, "you're the one who imagined them into existence in the first place." Naruto frowned. "What do you mean?" "Those beasts are from your mind, brat. Remember back before the villagers smashed your TV? You were obsessed with a show called Pokémon. Those were the creatures you once thought were unbeatable. This realm gave form to that imagination. All 493 exist here, and the strongest guard the console." Naruto clenched his fists. "Fine, whatever. Let's just get this over with before I lose it." "Brace yourself, kid. This will hurt," Kyubai warned. A blazing red aura wrapped around Naruto, and pain ripped through his body, forcing him to scream. 6:00 a.m. Land of Waves. Naruto awoke with a yawn, standing slowly and rubbing his eyes. At first, he wasn't sure where he was, but then the changes hit him. He rushed to a nearby stream and stared at his reflection. His hair was now pitch black, his eyes dark as night. More importantly, he felt a surge of raw strength coursing through him, an energy far beyond what he'd known before. "What is this?" he thought. "That kid is the strength of a full-blooded Saiyan warrior," the Kyubai's voice echoed in his head. "What the hell is a Saiyan?" Naruto asked. "Who do you think's talking to you?" "Yeah, it's me. With the seal weakened, I can speak directly into your mind. You've now got the body of a half Saiyan, endurance beyond normal, power multiplied several times, and skin tough as steel." Naruto grinned. "So this is Saiyan power. Damn, it feels amazing. I feel unstoppable. And that's both the gift and curse of a Saiyan. Power like this can cloud judgment. Some, like the legendary Super Saiyan centuries ago, lost control and annihilated entire worlds. Others, like Goku and his allies, pushed the limits further, unlocking transformations up to 3 separate levels. Be careful, Naruto. Absolute power tends to corrupt. Even demons who thought they were invincible have been wiped out for being reckless." Naruto huffed. Fine, but wait, there are more stages beyond this. Focus on the first, brat, then think about higher levels. For now, I suggest you win the trust of the wave people and get yourself training gear. And seriously, get better clothes. You dress like a disaster." Ignoring the jab, Naruto sprinted toward town. The villagers greeted him like a hero for saving them from Gato. Trying not to let the praise go to his head, he entered the tailor's shop. Behind the counter, a middle-aged man in blue pants and a white shirt greeted him warmly. "Welcome, Naruto. I've been waiting to work with you," the man said. Naruto blinked. "You know my name?" "Of course. Everyone in this country knows you. Thanks to you, Gato's gone, and our economy is finally recovering. I'm Tenzo, the local tailor. What can I make for you?" "I need custom clothes, something durable," Naruto said. "Consider it done and free of charge." "Thanks. Also, do you have training weights?" Naruto asked. After sketching out a design, he left the suit in Tenzo's hands. The tailor promised it would be ready in a week and provided chakra-adjustable weights in the meantime. 1 week later, Wave Country, after avoiding Kakashi and Sakura all week, Naruto returned to Tenzo's shop. The tailor smiled and led him to the back. "Here it is, the outfit you asked for." Hanging neatly was a black fighting gi with a V-cut chest and sleeveless design, paired with pants. Laid out beside it were a dark red shirt, bandana, belt, and wristbands, with black and red boots at the base. Think Goku's gi, except black instead of orange, red instead of blue, Bardock's bandana, and modified boots. Naruto also tied his forehead protector around his left bicep. Naruto tried it on, finding it a perfect fit. He thanked Tenzo and left. Back in his training grounds, he practiced flying again. Concentrating, he released chakra from the weights and focused his kai downward. Soon, he felt himself lifting off. The pressure increased as he rose higher and higher, until the entire capital of Wave stretched out beneath him. From this vantage, he could even see the Great Bridge nearly reaching Fire Country's shores. The sight stole his breath, but in his awe, he lost focus, plummeting. Panic rose until he remembered his training. He refocused his kai, stopping his fall midair. He steadied himself and soon was gliding through the sky, circling the clearing with growing control. Landing again, Naruto decided to test his limits. Removing his headband, he left it behind. If he ended up somewhere dangerous, he didn't want to risk being traced back to Konoha. Taking a deep breath, he launched himself into the skies, ready to discover just how far this new power could take him. Taking a steady breath, Naruto launched himself into the sky, leaving Wave Country behind. He angled left, soaring across the horizon for nearly an hour. The scenery shifted beneath him. First, the endless blue of the sea stretching between the island of Wave and the land of fire. That soon gave way to the soft green of wide grasslands, then thickened into the dark canopy of forest. Eventually, the forest thinned and transformed into the arid sands of desert terrain. Feeling his stamina draining from continuous flight, Naruto decided to rest at the next settlement. Spotting one ahead, he slowed, gradually descending until he landed silently and smoothly atop a building. Darting behind it, he leapt down to street level, walking casually through the town as he searched for food before planning his return to Wave Country. After wandering for a while without spotting any eateries, Naruto's eyes caught a convenience shop. He stepped inside and purchased a map of the elemental nations to figure out his current location. One glance shocked him. He had actually flown all the way to the land of wind, clear across the continent. Even more surprising, this town was less than 10 miles from Sunagakure, the hidden village in the sand. "Heh, I really am amazing," Naruto thought smugly. He strolled through the town until his strength returned, noticing puzzled stares from the locals. Naruto assumed they were intrigued by his unusual clothing style, something they clearly weren't used to. Ignoring their curiosity, he continued onward without paying attention to where he was walking. That's when he bumped into someone. The stranger wore what looked like a black cat costume without the tail, marked on the chest by a circular symbol, half yellow, half red. Black sandals covered his feet, his face painted with makeup, and a strange bundle wrapped in white bandages rested on his back like a pack. With him stood another figure, a boy with crimson hair carrying a massive sand gourd strapped to his back by a white sash and brown belt. He wore dark pants, a black shirt over fishnet, and had his legs bound with bandages. A tattoo marked above his left eye, his eyebrows were missing, and deep shadows ringed his eyes. Beside them was a blonde girl who looked older than the other two. No need to describe her outfit, you already know what Temari looks like, and honestly I have no idea what that dress is even called. The boy in the cat-like attire scowled as he got up. "Watch where you're going, brat, or I'll drag your face through the desert sand." Naruto's eyes narrowed at the insult. Being ridiculed for his height was nothing new, but this time he wasn't going to just let it slide. "Who are you calling a runt?" he snapped. "You, obviously," the cat-clothed boy replied. "Then say it to my face," Naruto challenged. "Why don't you grab a ladder and say it to mine?" the boy shot back. Naruto's glare turned into a grin, and he suddenly drove his fist into the boy's chest, forcing him to double over in pain. "Now look, we're about the same height," Naruto quipped before slamming another punch into his face, knocking him back several feet. As the boy steadied himself, he angrily removed the package from his back. "Don't tell me you're actually going to use Crow over something this small," Temari interjected, sighing. "If you give him the chance, he'd probably apologize. It was just an accident." "Stay out of this, Temari," the boy snapped. "He wants to fight, so I'll give it to him." "Fine," Temari muttered. "But if you die, don't expect me to drag your corpse to Father Kankuro." "Wouldn't need you to anyway," Kankuro retorted. He then tugged on the bindings, revealing a puppet dressed in a torn black shirt. "Meet Crow," he introduced with a smirk. Naruto eyed the puppet skeptically. "How's a doll supposed to help him in a fight? Puppets need strings, and I don't see any." His thoughts were cut short when the puppet suddenly lunged forward. Naruto's instincts kicked in, dodging as the construct fired senbon from its mouth. Recognizing their deadly potential, he vaulted over them and unleashed a burst of energy. The puppet barely evaded, singed from the attack. But as Naruto descended, a cloud of purple mist enveloped him. He coughed, clutching his chest, before dropping to the ground. Oddly, instead of weakening, his blood felt like it surged faster, energizing him. The haze faded, leaving him unaffected. Kankuro's eyes widened. "What? That was my strongest poison. It should have knocked you out cold," Naruto glared. "Poison, huh? Too bad for you. I've been dosed so many times back home, my blood's practically immune. Nice try, but it won't work on me. Let's keep going." Recovering from his shock, Kankuro sent Crow charging again. Naruto aimed for Kankuro directly, but the puppet suddenly restrained him, locking him in a crushing hold with kunai jutting from its joints. The blades bit into his skin, painful but unable to pierce deep. Focusing his energy, Naruto unleashed a powerful blast, shattering Crow apart. Panting, he approached Kankuro, who was stunned on his knees. Suddenly, the puppet's head shot forward at Naruto's back. Catching Kankuro's hand signal, Naruto spun and blasted the puppet's head into pieces. From the sidelines, Temari and the red-haired boy looked on, mildly impressed. They'd never seen someone dismantle Kankuro's puppet so quickly. Temari opened her mouth to scold her brother, but the redhead spoke first. "Kankuro, you shame our village. Be quiet and move, or I'll kill you myself." Kankuro stammered, but he started it, Gaara." "I don't care. Now let's go. By the way, what's your name?" Naruto frowned. Though Kankuro looked older, he was clearly terrified of Gaara, and the aura radiating from the redhead screamed danger. Before Naruto could speak, the Kyuubi rumbled inside his mind. "That power, it's the Shukaku, the one-tail. I didn't even know he was sealed." At the same time, a similar warning echoed in Gaara's mind. "Be cautious. That boy reeks of the Kyuubi. He could be its host." Gaara froze. Nothing ever silenced Shukaku except blood, yet here it was wary. Breaking the tension, Naruto finally said, "Naruto Uzumaki." "Gaara of the desert," the redhead replied coolly. Pointing, he continued, "That fool is my brother Kankuro, and she is my sister Temari. We are the children of the Fourth Hokage." Naruto asked curiously, "What brings you so far from Sunagakure?" Temari hesitated, but, feeling oddly that she could trust him, answered, "We're here on a mission. There's a criminal group led by Teizeki, a former Iwa Jounin turned missing nin. He's building a private army outside the daimyo's approval. Our orders are to eliminate him and dismantle his operation." "Enough, Temari," Gaara cut her off. "We shouldn't reveal our business to outsiders. Look at him, it's obvious he isn't from Wind Country. Still, I look forward to fighting you, Kyuubi." Naruto smirked at the jab. "Bring it on, Shukaku. I'll beat you down." The two locked eyes, an unspoken fire between them, both itching for a fight. But with night approaching, duty pulled the Sand siblings away to the town hall. Naruto watched them leave, then searched for a place to rest. Since it was too dark to fly back, he lay down on a rooftop, drifting toward sleep, until a scream pierced the night. Instantly awake, he dashed toward the sound, spotting two men in black vests with golden dragon emblems on their shirts. Black pants and boots completed their outfits, and swords hung at their sides. They were dragging a woman through the streets. Naruto followed from the rooftops. "Shut your mouth, girl, or I'll find something to keep you quiet," one hissed. "Yeah, gag her," the other snickered. The first smacked him with his sheath. "Shut it, Marv." The woman cried out again, but no one came. As the man drew his blade and pressed it near her throat, Naruto finally intervened, dropping silently from above. He unleashed twin energy blasts, striking both men unconscious and freeing the woman. "Thank the heavens," she gasped. "They were going to take me." "Take you where?" Naruto asked. A familiar voice answered, "To their hideout." Naruto turned to see the Sand siblings approaching, irritation written on their faces. Temari stepped forward. "Those two were part of the Golden Dragons, a group led by Teizeki. Thanks to you, we just lost our lead on their base." Naruto narrowed his eyes at them. "So your plan was to let her get taken, just so you could trail them back to their hideout. Do you even realize how reckless that is? They could have led you straight into an ambush. And what if you weren't able to save her in time? What then?" Kankuro responded. "The Golden Dragons have been making things harder for the mayor here. By abducting citizens, they make it look like the mayor is failing his people. Their scheme was to have the villagers demand his resignation. After that, Teizeki would step in and run a corrupt campaign for the position. Once in power, he'd swap out the police for his own soldiers and take complete control of the city. She was meant to be bait to locate their base, but now that plan's ruined thanks to you. What's our move now? Has anyone else been taken?" Naruto pressed. Temari nodded. "Many. They're locked up in some facility we haven't been able to track down. And where do you think they're holding them? Most likely in containment areas, but we can't confirm. We would have known if—" All right, I get it," Naruto cut her off. "So what's the strategy now?" Gaara spoke coldly. "Strategy? It's our mission, not yours. You're not even supposed to be involved." "Why don't you just leave?" Naruto smirked. "Because sticking around is way more interesting. Now what do we wait? I've got it." Kankuro raised a brow. "Got what? Would they accept locals into their ranks?" Temari thought for a moment. "Possibly, yes, but why?" Naruto declared. "I'll infiltrate. I'll get close, learn their defenses from the inside, and then help you break out the prisoners and destroy the Golden Dragons." Kankuro scoffed. "That's insane. Easily the dumbest plan I've heard." Naruto shot back. "It's smarter than you think. If I go undercover and they uncover me as a spy, they won't link me to you because we've already fought. They'll assume I'm working for someone else entirely. They don't even know my origins, so they can't trace me back to anyone. And worst case scenario, I free everyone myself." "It's flawless." Temari objected. "You can't take down the Golden Dragons alone," Gaara interrupted. "Let it go, Temari. If he wants to risk his life, let him. If he succeeds, our mission ends sooner than expected. If he dies, it's on him. I say let him try." Kankuro shrugged. "He's strong enough, fine, let him do it. We get paid either way." Temari sighed heavily. "If the fool wants to throw his life away, then fine." Naruto grinned confidently. "Relax, I'm not dying anytime soon. I'm far tougher than you think. So how are we pulling this off?" 4 days later, Naruto managed to join the Golden Dragons the very next day. To earn recognition, he went to the streets and beat down some local thugs. His initiation test was brutal, 10 gang members against him all at once. Flashback: the moment of his trial arrived. Naruto stood still as a man with silver hair and dark brown ANBU-style armor walked from the crowd. He bore a Rock Village headband, but it was marked with a golden dragon crest, matching the one stitched into his armor and clothes. The man introduced himself. "I'm Teizeki, leader of the Golden Dragons. If you want to be one of us, you'll have to prove you can fight. Here's a sample of my men. Show me you can handle it. Don't hold back, boys." The gang members stepped forward, dressed in black gear with golden dragon insignias on their legs and tattoos curling across their faces. Each vest bore the same dragon motif. They rushed Naruto. He dodged the first punch, leapt over a sweeping kick, and countered with a flying kick to the attacker's jaw. Landing smoothly, Naruto spun in a circle, his foot smashing into another thug's face. Another assailant swung a plank of wood at him, but Naruto snatched him by the throat and hurled him into 2 others, knocking them aside. Naruto punched left, blocked right, and countered a front kick with his own leg. He caught one thug's arm, launched himself upward, and simultaneously kicked one opponent while striking another with his fist. 4 more advanced, including the 2 he had tossed earlier. They tried to overwhelm him with a flurry of kicks, but Naruto endured, grabbed one by the leg, and flung him into another. Rolling away from a strike, he returned to his feet, waiting calmly as 2 more charged recklessly. Naruto jumped at the last moment, Blinded by fury, the attackers crashed into a wall behind him, knocking themselves unconscious. He piled the beaten thugs together and looked directly at Teizeki. Next! Teizeki clapped slowly. Impressive, Tsuba Misumi. From this day on, you're one of the Golden Dragons. Naruto, now using his alias, smirked. He had altered his look completely. Hair cropped short, blue contacts, red clothing, even a new accent to disguise himself. That's all it takes. Pathetic, I didn't even break a sweat. Teizeki chuckled darkly. Enjoy your arrogance while it lasts. You'll see how hard it truly is soon enough. Report back at dawn for your jacket and quarters. End flashback. From then on, Naruto lived in the apartment blocks near the warehouses. Instead of kidnappings, he was tasked with hauling crates, manual labor, and combat drills with other recruits. Currently, Naruto sat in his room, staring at the sky, when a thug from his initiation barged in. Come on, we've got a job. This assignment was different. They were moving up to guarding the prisoners. Naruto dreaded it. He knew he'd have to see the broken villagers in chains. He had already leaked the dragon's plans to Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro, and the attack was scheduled for tonight. He just needed to keep his cover until then. At the warehouse, Naruto descended into the basement. Dozens of villagers were shackled at their wrists and ankles, some whipped mercilessly. His blood boiled when he saw a thug lashing a girl with 4 ponytails. Naruto froze, those eyes, that haired Temari, he couldn't hold back. He rushed forward, smashing his fist into the man's skull, dropping him instantly. Naruto leapt over Temari, shattered her restraints, and freed her ankles. Come on, we're leaving, he said, lifting her into his arms. With a burst of speed, he kicked open the doors and vanished, reappearing on a rooftop 2 blocks away. Setting her down, he grinned. Temari's cheeks turned pink. I thought I was finished. Thanks for saving me, Naruto. I owe you one, he smirked foxishly. Don't mention it. Anyone else would have done the same. Her blush deepened. We need to regroup with Gaara and Kankuro before the city falls. Naruto scratched his head nervously. Yeah, let's move. As Temari turned, she suddenly realized they were on a rooftop. Wait, how are we supposed to get down? Naruto chuckled. Simple. Before she could argue, he scooped her up again and leapt off. She screamed, but they landed safely on the ground. She smacked him on the head. Are you insane? You could have killed me. Naruto rubbed the sore spot. Can we just go find your brothers now? Temari huffed but relented. Fine. But you're not off the hook. You think I'll forget this stunt? Naruto deadpanned. Kinda, she snorted. Not even worth the effort. 20 minutes later, City Hall, Naruto and Temari found Gaara and Kankuro. After explaining, Kankuro exploded, What? While even Gaara's face twisted with visible anger rare for him, Naruto glanced at Temari. By the way, how did they catch you in the first place? Kankuro yelled, Moron. You save her and only now you're asking that? Idiot. Ignoring him, Naruto repeated, So, how'd it happen? Temari admitted, They overwhelmed me. Turns out they're men no jutsu. Without my fan, I was outmatched and beaten down. Oh yeah, Kankuro muttered. He slipped a hand inside his outfit and pulled out a sealing scroll. Unrolling it, he pressed his palms against the surface, and when he lifted them back up, Temari's giant fan materialized in his grip. Here, I came across it a couple miles back. Naruto smirked and said, Honestly, it feels like you depend on that fan way too much. Temari's eyes narrowed in irritation before she smacked him across the head, snapping. Did I ask for your opinion? Naruto rubbed the sore spot with a scowl and mumbled, You really should look into some anger therapy. Regaining his composure, he added, Anyway, when do we wreck this place? I want this done quickly. Gaara's cold voice cut in, We strike tonight, I want this finished immediately. Kankuro shrugged, No point in arguing, I'm with you. Temari folded her arms. Yeah, when Gaara makes up his mind, there's no stopping him. Good, Gaara finalized. Naruto nodded and laid out the details. All right then. The base has 3 levels, 1 underground, the ground floor, and a second level above. There's a staircase on the main floor that leads to the basement. You 3 will cause a distraction on the east side, pulling the gang's attention there. Keep them busy, but don't kill. I'll slip into the basement from the left stairwell and release the prisoners. Once they're safe, we wipe out the guards and eliminate Teizeki. Fast, clean, and everyone gets what they want. Temari frowned. That almost sounds too easy. It is easy, Naruto replied sharply. We don't need hostages, we don't need mercy. Just free the captives and take everyone else down, that's all. Now move, we need perfect timing. With that, Naruto and the Sand siblings headed out. 30 minutes later, they arrived near the compound. Naruto raised a hand. Wait here a sec. In a blink, he vanished. The siblings glanced at each other, surprised at his speed. Distant popping noises echoed, then Naruto appeared before them again. Surveillance is down. They won't spot you coming. Stick to the plan. The Sand trio nodded, while Naruto sprinted toward the entrance. Their role was to blow open the wall on the far side, giving Naruto a window to reach the basement. Once the captives were freed, he'd guide them back through the hole they made, and together they'd crush the guards. Not long after, the sound of an explosion rocked the area, machines inside the building grinding to a halt. Naruto dashed through the entryway, searching for the stairs. Spotting them across the hall, he sprinted forward, only to find several gang members rushing toward him. They formed hand seals, shouting, "Fire style!" Fireball jutsu. Naruto instantly created 2 shadow clones. Both performed seals and countered with wind style, great breakthrough. A powerful gust swept the flames aside. The original Naruto pushed ahead while his doubles leapt sideways, dragging more of the golden dragons to one side. One clone unleashed, fire style, ash accumulation, spewing a dark mist over the mob, while the other clone followed with another gust of wind. The first clone snapped his teeth, igniting the ash in a fiery blast. The strengthened flames consumed the thugs in an instant. Naruto reached the staircase and rushed down. 5 guards were stationed in the basement, who instantly prepared for battle. Naruto's lips curved into a grin as he jumped into the fray. They struck first. One's punch smashed his jaw, another's kick hit his gut, and a third launched him into the wall with a dropkick. That was too easy, one guard sneered. But Naruto only smirked before vanishing from sight. He reappeared behind them, weaving seals. Lightning style, false darkness. Black electricity sparked between his hands, forming a fox-shaped bolt that shot forward, cleaving through them all. Chains rattled as the freed captives watched, wide-eyed, realizing Naruto wasn't one of their captors. He shattered their bindings and led them upstairs. On the main floor, the Sand siblings were starting to get pushed back. Naruto summoned 10 more shadow clones to reinforce the 2 guarding the stairs, assigning one to guide the prisoners out. Channeling energy into his palm, he hurled it forward. Riot Javelin! The blast erupted, erasing 20 enemies in one go. Charging into the chaos, Naruto brutally tore through the gang. Seeing his signal, the Sand siblings unleashed their own powers. Gaara's sand crushed groups at once. Kankuro released his crow puppet beside Temari, who swung her fan with immense force. Wind style, cutting whirlwind. Her winds merged with Crow's projectiles, scattering a toxic mist into the fresh cuts, knocking the thugs out cold. Reuniting, they climbed to the upper floor. The room was dark until the lights flicked on, revealing Teizeki flanked by 50 elite guards. "Impressive," Teizeki said mockingly. "Over 100 men gone, prisoners freed, but now you face my best. Kill them all." The guards surged forward. Naruto leapt in, blasting one aside with energy before striking another with a flying kick. He vaulted over one, firing another riot javelin to obliterate 5 more. As fists and feet clashed, Naruto began combining Kai blasts with elemental ninjutsu, fire, wind, ash, devastating groups at once while the siblings supported from range. Finally, Naruto and Teizeki locked eyes and collided head-on. Their clash turned into a pure hand-to-hand brawl, both striking and evading with practiced rhythm. Naruto, tiring, forced Kai through his body, boosting his power at the cost of pain inside. With renewed speed, he overwhelmed Teizeki with a relentless assault before blasting him back. Pulling energy into his arms, Naruto shouted, "Cyclone Buster!" Firing a storm of blasts, he riddled Teizeki's chest. In a flash step, Naruto appeared before him, palm against his face. "Time to die!" A massive burst of energy erupted point-blank, ending the fight. He regrouped with the Sand trio just as the building began collapsing from the battle's damage. Blasting a hole in the wall, he escaped while Gaara shielded his siblings with sand, moving them safely onto a nearby rooftop. Naruto soared up to meet them. Before relief could set in, Gaara doubled over, groaning. Shukaku's voice clawed at his mind, urging him to kill Naruto. He tried to resist, but couldn't. "Stay away from me!" Gaara cried before leaping away. Naruto frowned until Kurama spoke inside his mind. Naruto, that's Shukaku, it's trying to take full control. Why now? Naruto asked. Because it saw your strength. If we don't stop him, Gaara's mind will be lost to that monster. Naruto launched into the sky, tracking him down. Landing nearby, he asked, Gaara, you all right? But the reply came in a voice not his own. Better than ever, I'm free. Gaara's eyes had changed, yellow with a black diamond at the center, strange markings radiating outward. Kurama growled, Those are Shukaku's eyes. He's loose. You need to fight him now. Naruto clenched his fists. Great, looks like I've got a real fight on my hands. 5:30 Unknown Town, Wind Country. Naruto froze at the warning Kyuubi gave him. He didn't know much about monsters, but he was aware of one thing: tailed beasts weren't small. They were massive, and if they gained control of their host's body, they could fully manifest. Don't give him any breathing room. If you slip up, you'll regret it. Cue to be loved by Papa Roach or across the nation by Union Underground, Naruto darted straight at Shukaku Gaara, determined to end things before the full beast could surface. He threw a sharp right punch, only for Gaara's sand shield to intercept it. His wrist was instantly caught by the living defense, and he knew if he didn't break free, it'd snap like a twig. Pulling back, he launched a kick, but again the sand intercepted. Every strike, punches, chops, knees, was smothered by the sand wall. Grinding his teeth, Naruto formed 9 shadow clones, all weaving hand signs before releasing the burning ash accumulation technique. Ash filled the air, sticking to Gaara's sand barrier. In unison, the clones detonated it, creating an explosion that fused into a dome of molten glass. Without pause, Naruto and his copies rushed in, hammering at the glowing sphere. Cracks formed, a few blows even landing on Gaara, but he quickly raised another defense and blasted them back. Quit holding back, brat, Kyuubi barked. Taking the words to heart, Naruto began unleashing Kai blasts like a storm, firing so rapidly the explosions blurred into one another. Finally, he charged up and hurled a riot javelin into the smoke-filled sky. Ha, GTA rules, baby, 10 points. You seriously watch too much TV? As the haze lifted, Naruto spotted Gaara with a scorched belly and a hole in his shirt, the sand armor shattered. Not wasting the chance, Naruto surged forward, channeling energy through his whole body. He delivered a crushing punch to Gaara's jaw, then rapid blows to his stomach and chest before finishing with a brutal kick that sent Gaara tumbling off the rooftop. Gaara's body melted into the earth, and the surrounding sand began pulling toward him, gathering at alarming speed. Oh, hell no. This ain't good, kid. Naruto shielded his eyes against the swirling storm. A guttural, monstrous roar followed, and when he looked up, the Shukaku itself loomed over him. Move, boy, the fox snapped. Naruto bolted, narrowly dodging the beast's thrashing claws and the collapsing buildings. Taking to the air, he fired more riot javelins, blasting off Shukaku's arms, only to watch them reform instantly. Gritting his teeth, he hovered above the monster, body angled parallel to the ground. Looks like I gotta bring out my ace. Cupping his hands behind him, he began the chant every DBZ fan knows by heart. Kaya mi, H-A-A-A. The brilliant blue Kamehameha wave shot down like a spear of destruction, ripping through Shukaku's head and detonating from the inside. Sand erupted everywhere as the beast exploded. Naruto hovered above, chest heaving. When the smoke cleared, Gaara lay unconscious below. A grin crept onto Naruto's face, thinking it was over. But it wasn't. Gaara's eyes snapped open, Shukaku's eyes, and the sand surged again, reconstructing the beast. You've gotta be kidding me, Kyuubi cursed, right as Shukaku's massive arm slammed Naruto, sending him flying. He righted himself midair, but another attack, a spinning sphere of air, blasted him again. Damn it, forgot about that Rankuden. Picking himself up, Naruto's expression darkened. His thoughts spiraled. How do I even win this? I blew it apart, it rebuilt. I pounded Gaara senseless, he still summons the raccoon. What the hell am I supposed to do? And where's your damn advice, Kyuubi? Relax, I'm thinking. Cue Jeopardy theme, got it. Kid, you need to trigger the Super Saiyan transformation again. Great idea, except HOW. Think back, what did you feel last time? I thought Sasuke died. Rage, fury, pain, guilt. Exactly. Those emotions, hatred, despair, they're the key. Channel them. Naruto closed his eyes, recalling the image of Sasuke pushing him out of harm's way, taking the fatal blow himself. Rage at Haku, anger at himself. Sorrow at losing his friend, regret for not being strong enough. A single tear slipped down his cheek. His body trembled as those feelings surged to the surface. With a primal scream, he released them. In an instant, his dark blonde hair flared into pure gold. His blue eyes shifted into turquoise green. A blazing golden aura erupted around him. Power unlike anything he had ever felt coursed through his body. I did it, I really did it. I'm a Super Saiyan again. Yeah, you did. Now get over there and smash Shukaku right now, or you'll be completely drained once the drawbacks of that Super Saiyan power hit you. Naruto didn't need to hear it twice. He shot straight toward Shukaku, who was lumbering forward to investigate the sudden surge of power. Sliding beneath the beast's head, Naruto rushed to its exposed stomach and drove his fist upward with devastating force, ripping through its belly. He blasted out through its back moments later. Spinning in midair, Naruto unleashed a riot javelin, detonating Shukaku's rear. Growling, the monster whirled around, tracking Naruto's golden energy trail. Snarling, Shukaku spat a barrage of Futon, Renkuden wind style, drilling air bullet toward him. Naruto calmly swatted each blast aside like they were nothing. On the third strike, he hit one with enough force to fling it back at its creator. Shukaku recoiled and leapt away, flattening entire blocks with the impact. Naruto dashed toward the beast, stopping a few meters from its massive face. Cyclone Buster, he roared, releasing 20 rapid-fire blasts before appearing right in front of its skull to deliver one enormous strike. Below, he noticed Gaara crash to the ground and reform the raccoon shell again. Hovering above, Naruto bided his time. Hey kid, I got an idea. What is it? If we wake Gaara up, this fight might be over. But what about all those hits I landed before he went full raccoon? He had another hidden layer of sand armor. That's why those blows didn't finish him. That's insane, but so insane it might just work. Now quit thinking and crush him. Naruto let his aura flare, revealing his location. The reformed Shukaku snatched him and swallowed him whole, trying to smother him in endless sand. Buried in the crushing darkness, Naruto forced energy to erupt from his entire body, screaming as he spread his arms and legs. A massive orange sphere expanded outward, ripping Shukaku apart and burning Gaara. Following the surge, Naruto flew to the core of the chakra, grabbed Gaara by the neck, and punched him across the head. Gaara's eyes snapped open, normal once again. Gasping, Gaara muttered, "Thanks." "Come on," Naruto replied. "Let's get you back to your siblings." Naruto lifted Gaara and soared off until Temari signaled him down. He landed with Gaara in his arms. Temari rushed to him, hugging him tightly. "Thank you," she whispered, her cheeks flushed. Naruto turned red too. She quickly shifted topics. "What happened to you?" Naruto lied smoothly. "No idea. It started during the fight. I still don't know what it even does." Gaara interjected. "How did you beat me in that state?" Naruto shrugged. "I was protecting them." He gestured toward Temari and Kankuro. "They had nothing to do with this battle. I couldn't stand to see innocent people hurt for nothing. Now, excuse me while I collapse." Naruto's aura faded, his body reverting to normal before he fell unconscious. The siblings stared in shock. Next morning, 7:30 a.m., Naruto woke up in a bed, confused about his surroundings. The door creaked open and Temari walked in, dressed in her usual outfit. "Morning, lazybones. I was beginning to think you'd sleep forever," she teased. "Trust me, I considered it," Naruto joked, following her outside toward the village gates. "We're about to head home," she explained. "I'll see you off. I've got to leave anyway." "Where are you from anyway?" No point hiding it. Kano Hagakure no Sato." Her eyes widened. That was the very village they were set to attack soon. For a moment, Temari considered warning him, but betraying her father meant becoming a traitor. She couldn't abandon Gaara either. Blood came first. Instead, she asked casually, "So, you entering the Chunin exams there?" "Yeah," Naruto nodded. "My sensei will have no choice but to recommend us." "Why's that?" "My teammates favored by the village elders. They bend over backwards for him." "Sounds like he's got it easy," Temari muttered. They regrouped with Gaara and Kankuro, eventually reaching the fork in the road. "This is where we part," Temari said. Naruto pointed past the dunes. "Yeah, I've got to head that way." "Take care. I'll see you at the exams." Smirking, Temari leaned forward and kissed Naruto on the lips. Pulling back, she teased, "Something to remember me by." Naruto stood frozen, dazed. "Yeah," he finally muttered, as Temari giggled and walked off with her brothers. After standing there like a statue for several minutes, he remembered his mission and blasted off toward Wave Country. 8:30 a.m. Wave Country, Naruto landed back at his clearing and searched for his teammates. No answer. Then he spotted his headband, lying exactly where he'd left it. Rushing to Tazuna's house, he knocked, and Inari opened the door. "Naruto," the boy cheered, hugging him. "Why are you here? Your team already left." Naruto blinked. "What?" Inari explained. "Yeah, Sasuke said to give you this if you came back." He handed Naruto a folded note. It read, "Naruto, we couldn't keep waiting. Sakura and Kakashi lost patience. Today's 8/12. It's 3 days to Konoha, so we'll arrive on the 15th. Get there before us or you'll be branded a missing nin." Sasuke Naruto's eyes widened. Today was the 15th. He had no time to waste. As he turned to leave, Inari tugged his arm. "At least eat before you go," Inari pleaded. "Sorry, Inari, I have to reach the village before them. But I'll come back, I promise." With that, Naruto sprinted off before lifting into the sky, cloaked in white energy. Meanwhile, with Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi, Sasuke had tried everything to delay their return, but Kakashi kept forcing the pace. Sakura assumed it was so they'd get back in time for her shopping trips, but Sasuke knew better. Kakashi was trying to ensure Naruto didn't return first. If Naruto was late, he'd be punished, or worse. With no family to defend him, Kakashi would face no backlash. Thankfully, Sakura's lack of stamina slowed them enough that Naruto might still make it. By 9 o'clock, they entered Konoha and checked in. Kakashi led them straight to the Hokage's office. "Lord Hokage, I have news about Naru." "Don't bother, Kakashi. I beat you here by 20 minutes. A familiar voice cut in. Naruto leaned against the wall, arms crossed, smirking. Sarutobi folded his hands. "Yes, Naruto already informed me how you abandoned him in Wave." Kakashi scowled. "What was I supposed to do?" "Wait for me," Naruto snapped. "You're worthless, we don't have to," Sakura screeched, but Naruto cut her off. "You left on the 12th, barely waited 2 days, when we still had plenty of time. You should have reported to the Hokage instead of ditching me. We had 30 days total for the mission. You couldn't even give me the last 5. Sarutobi's tone grew stern. "Enough! Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, I expect your reports on my desk tomorrow." Kakashi frowned. "Why doesn't Naruto have to submit one, Hokage-sama?" Naruto smirked. "Already did, Cyclops." "Naruto stays, the rest of you are dismissed," the Hokage ordered. The others filed out. Sasuke gave Naruto a shove on the shoulder before leaving. Turning back, Naruto asked Sarutobi, "All right, old man, what do you need from me?" "You released the seal, didn't you?" the Hokage suddenly asked without warning. Naruto, pretending not to understand, replied, "I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm referring to the powers your father locked away." "You were aware of that?" Naruto asked in surprise. "Yes, I knew. In fact, I was the one who suggested it be done." "You've got to be kidding me. What the hell, old man?" Naruto shouted in anger. "Listen, Naruto, I understand why you're furious, but think for a moment. The abilities in your bloodline are extraordinary, so powerful that if you learned them recklessly, without proper guidance, you could destroy everything. Imagine if you discovered them while enraged, the world wouldn't survive. I had to wait until I felt you could handle the truth without giving in to rage," explained the Sandaime calmly. Naruto stood in silence for a while, then let out a sigh. "You're right, old man. If I hadn't been in the right mindset, I could have done something I'd regret. You were right to keep them from me back then. Sorry for yelling at you." "It's all right, there's more. Your father left behind something for you. He had a private training ground, one only he could enter. I believe it was sealed through blood, so as his son, you may be able to access it and learn how he trained." "Got it, old man. I'll check it out." Naruto bolted out of the office, only to return a few minutes later, embarrassed. "Oh, where is it again?" Hidden location using the directions from the Hokage, Naruto traveled to the general area of the training grounds. The Sandaime explained that he once followed Minato there, but was blocked by an invisible barrier he couldn't penetrate. Even his strongest techniques didn't work. He only knew the grounds were nearby. Naruto wandered until he came upon a clearing. Nothing looked unusual. 3 training logs, grass, trees, it appeared ordinary. As he moved deeper into the clearing, he noticed something odd. A glowing blue panel with a metallic orb attached to it. He stepped closer, and a mechanical voice echoed, "Place your hand for fingerprint scan and submit retina verification." Startled, Naruto spun around searching for the source of the voice. Again it repeated, "Fingerprint and retina verification required." "Oi, idiot, hurry it up already, fingerprint and retina," the voice snapped. Naruto realized it was coming from the panel itself. Grumbling, Naruto placed his hand on the surface. The metallic orb shifted, releasing a beam of blue light that scanned his eyes. The system announced, "Identity confirmed. Naruto Uzumaki, son recognized. Access granted." Suddenly, the ground beneath him split open, revealing a circular platform about 10 feet wide. It descended rapidly underground. Naruto panicked, searching for a way to escape, but there was none. With no choice, he braced himself and let it carry him down. After several minutes, the platform stopped. As he stepped off, lights flickered on in sequence, creating a path that led him to a large room. Inside was a massive monitor connected to an advanced computer system. The screen activated, showing the image of a man. He had spiky blonde hair, striking blue eyes, and a muscular frame. Wearing a training gi beneath the Hokage robes, the man spoke. "Greetings, I am Son Goku Jr., though most know me as Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of Konoha Hagakure. And if you are watching this, then you must be my son, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." Naruto froze, eyes wide, barely able to whisper. "How?" Minato's recorded image smiled faintly. "You must be confused about what this place is and how it came to be. Let me explain. It begins with my ancestor, Goku." He went on to recount battles from his youth, how he defeated Vegeta Jr. in a tournament, then faced an alien invasion from Frieza's race. He described fighting alongside Vegeta Jr., overwhelmed by sheer numbers, forced to abandon Earth for another inhabited world. His voice cracked as memories flooded back. "We vowed on our lineage to avenge our destroyed home." Naruto listened in stunned silence. The Kyuubi had once hinted at another Earth, but hearing this truth shook him deeply. Minato continued. "When we arrived here, I encountered the Kyuubi. He demanded answers about who I was and where I came from. Once I told him everything, he withdrew. Eventually, I reunited with Vegeta Jr., who lived here under the name Jufu Lee. He even had a son, Rock Lee. Seeing his happiness inspired me to start a family of my own with Kushina. That's how you came to be. Sadly, the Kyuubi's attack shattered my hopes for a peaceful family life." The recording showed Minato's face soften. "Naruto, I left countless lessons here, how to control Kai, how to fight, and even special training equipment. I know I failed you, and I'm sure the village ignored my dying wish. But I hope this will at least make up for what you endured. Remember, your mother and I loved you dearly." The screen went black. Naruto stood frozen, processing everything, before wandering the underground facility. Inside, he found extraordinary inventions his father had created. A chamber that could multiply gravity 1,000-fold, weights heavier than anything he'd seen, flying machines stored in capsule form. The scale of it all left him awestruck. Curious, he returned to the computer and began browsing files on the Sun family history. Recordings appeared of Goku's life, his first martial arts tournaments, his battles against the Red Ribbon Army, Demon King Piccolo, the Saiyans, Namek, Frieza, the androids, Majin Buu, the Shadow Dragons, and more. Naruto watched wide-eyed, studying techniques and absorbing knowledge. One technique caught his attention, the after image. He saw a young Goku demonstrate it, darting so fast that only a fading illusion was left behind. Naruto tried it himself, channeling Kai into his legs, and to his surprise, succeeded easily. Another skill, psychokinesis, proved harder. Despite repeated attempts, he couldn't replicate it. Frustrated, he decided to focus on physical training instead. Naruto entered the gravity chamber, cranked the setting to twice the normal level, and immediately collapsed under the crushing weight. Struggling, he forced himself to his knees, then slowly adapted until he could stand. Step by step, his body adjusted, and soon he was throwing punches through the dense air. He discovered the chamber also deployed combat robots. Eager, he activated them. 10 machines marched out, surrounding him. Naruto braced himself as one swung sluggishly. With a single punch, he shattered it to pieces. Quickly, he destroyed the others but frowned. That was way too easy. Checking the console, he noticed an advanced settings option. Clicking it revealed difficulty levels and combat parameters. Naruto smacked his forehead. Of course, idiot. In the advanced configuration menu, Naruto was able to personally adjust the combat stats of the training robots. Each ability was displayed with a level, but all of them were currently set to 0. Naruto examined the options carefully, then began tweaking them to improve his training. Speed, level 18 strength, level 14 endurance, level 20 stamina, level 20 Kai blasts, level 15 combat. Level 14 strength, Kai blasts, combat equals balanced. Speed slightly low. Endurance and stamina higher than normal. After finalizing the settings, Naruto saved the changes and summoned 10 robots. He waited at the exit hatch for them to appear. When they emerged, their appearance was unlike the previous models. The earlier versions had exposed metal skeletons wrapped in wires, but these new units were covered with sleek black armor layered with white plating that conformed to their frame. The protective shell stopped 3 inches short of each joint, knees, elbows, and neck, allowing mobility. Immediately, they shifted into combat positions. Naruto instantly noticed the drastic improvement compared to the older models. Their posture alone revealed their enhanced design. He tightened his stance as one robot charged forward, throwing a fast left hook. The sudden burst of speed shocked Naruto. He barely blocked, and the strike still sent a painful jolt through his arm. Reacting, he countered with a punch to the robot's face, chipping off bits of its armor, then followed up with a knee to its stomach. The unit bent forward but recovered instantly, launching an uppercut to Naruto's jaw. The remaining machines rushed him at once, surrounding him in a flurry of rapid punches. Dodging was barely possible under the constant assault. Seizing an opening, Naruto grabbed the arm of the bot on his right, swung it around, and hurled it away. He started to gather energy in his palms but hesitated. If he destroyed the gravity chamber, repairs would be impossible. He decided to rely purely on physical combat instead. He flipped over a recovering robot, landing behind it. "Cyclone Rage!" Naruto shouted, charging in with his self-created martial combo. The bot spun around to meet him. Naruto closed the gap, right arm raised defensively while his left was coiled back for a strike. He first smashed the robot's face with his right, then slammed his left fist in hard, using the momentum to drive a kick into its stomach. Spinning, he lashed a heel strike into its chest, followed by a brutal right elbow and another punch to the head. He ended with a left straight to its chest plate, sending it flying into the chamber wall where it exploded violently. Naruto grinned at his success, until a sudden Kai blast struck him in the back. He hit the floor but rolled aside to avoid another volley. Rising quickly, he weaved through the barrage, though a few blasts grazed him. Closing the distance with one attacker, Naruto ducked the incoming shot, rammed a fist into its chest, then yanked it into position as a makeshift shield against the incoming fire. Using the cover, he launched forward and dropkicked the bot into another, the collision causing one to explode while the other narrowly avoided the blast. Panting, Naruto suddenly realized something. If I'm dodging their blasts, where are they landing? Jumping high, he glanced down and saw the walls absorbing the impact. Smiling, he landed as the machines retracted their hands, charging energy shots. As the beams fired, Naruto raised a protective Kai barrier, holding against the bombardment. The pressure mounted, and he condensed the barrier into a shell around his body, about 3 inches from his skin. Focusing hard, he advanced step by step, maintaining the form despite continuous hits. Surrounded on all sides, he shut his eyes, drawing power inward before unleashing it outward in a massive super-explosive wave. When the smoke cleared, Naruto staggered. That single attack had drained 60% of his reserves, and along with maintaining the shield, he was left with barely 5% of his strength. The robots, however, were still standing, though their armor was heavily scorched and their movements sluggish. Seizing the chance, Naruto rushed forward, landing a solid punch against one unit. Its weak block crumbled, and Naruto managed to lift it overhead. Struggling to hold it, he hurled it toward another. The impact caused one to topple onto the other, and both detonated. As more robots tried to regroup, Naruto decided to test a move he had seen before. Channeling Kai into his right palm, he compressed it into a small glowing sphere. "Power Blitz!" he roared, hurling it forward. The orb grew in size mid-flight before colliding, engulfing all of the remaining bots in an explosion that reduced them to scrap. Exhausted but victorious, Naruto dropped to the floor of the chamber. He lay on his back, catching his breath, when suddenly a basic level 0 unit entered and offered him something small, a green bean. Confused, Naruto accepted it, staring at the odd gift before deciding to eat it. Instantly, his energy returned, his wounds healed, and his stomach felt full. He stood up, amazed. Checking the computer, he noted it was now 7:00 p.m. He decided to leave the chamber in the lab for now and took the lift back up. Heading outside, he figured a quick lap around the village would help him unwind before bed, and he wanted to tell Sasuke what he had discovered. While running around the village as Naruto jogged through the streets, he sensed someone trailing him. Glancing back, he saw a boy in a green jumpsuit with a bowl haircut, dark eyes, a red forehead protector tied around his waist, orange leg warmers, and sandals. The boy quickly matched Naruto's pace. They exchanged looks, smirked, pulled out kunai, tossed them into the air, and wordlessly began a race. Neck and neck, neither gained ground at first. Determined to win, Naruto infused Kai into his legs and surged ahead. The boy closed his eyes, then shouted, "First gate Kaiman, gate of opening, release!" His body erupted with white aura, propelling him forward to match Naruto. Naruto pushed more chakra into his steps, but the boy suddenly leapt high, crossing his arms, focusing deeply. "Second gate Kuman, gate of healing, release!" he yelled, his aura flaring stronger, his speed exploding. He shot past Naruto, unknowingly winning, though both ignored the outcome. Naruto was astonished a regular kid could achieve that speed. Determined, he forced more power into his legs until he caught up again. Then his body gave out, and he crashed to the ground. The boy stopped, ran back, and helped Naruto sit up before collapsing beside him, both of them gasping for air. After recovering slightly, Naruto asked, "What was that trick you pulled during the race?" The boy replied, "Oh, the 8 gates. My sensei, Guy, taught me. They're limiters on the body's chakra flow. Opening them boosts power but damages the body, so I only use them when necessary." Naruto blinked. "You sure like saying the word youthful a lot." The boy grinned proudly. "Of course, it shows the fire of my springtime of youth." Naruto laughed awkwardly. "What kind of insane village is this? Can you teach someone that?" he asked curiously. The boy shook his head. "Sorry, Guy-sensei forbids me from showing it to anyone without his approval." Naruto shrugged. "Fair enough, I'll stick with what I've got. Oh, by the way, what's your name?" With dramatic flair, the boy declared, "I am Rock Lee, the handsome devil of the leaf." He punctuated it with a flashy series of kicks before landing firmly. Naruto's confusion turned to shock. "Wait, was your father Jufu Lee?" Lee's eyes widened. "Yeah, that was my dad. How do you know?" Naruto replied. "I read my father's journal. He wrote that Jufu Lee was his best friend." Lee frowned. "Strange, my father never told me that." Naruto stared at him. "Your dad's still alive," Lee nodded. "Yeah, why wouldn't he be?" Naruto muttered. "I thought he died during the Nine-Tails attack." Lee explained, "No, he was in a coma for about 5 weeks, then recovered. Though he left when I was 8 and hasn't returned since." Naruto sighed. "Guess you're luckier than I am." Suddenly, a mysterious voice echoed, "No, luckier me." They glanced to their left and spotted a figure standing tall. But it wasn't fully human, just humanoid in shape. Towering over 10 feet, its body was encased in white plating that wrapped around an icy blue core. 2 horns sprouted from its head, angling outward before curving straight upward. In the middle of its chest rested another glowing blue dome, shielded by the same white armor, which was sculpted to resemble a muscular torso. The shoulders were covered with armor as well, each holding its own blue core. Its arms were outlined by pink flesh, though its forearms were clad in white plating marked with large brown patches in the center. Its hands were ice blue with 5 long fingers. The armor ended at its waist, revealing more pink skin, while its lower legs were shielded in plating. Each foot had 3 toes with ice blue skin, and extending behind it was a thick, 5-foot-long tail. Attached to its left ear was a device that projected a visor over its eye. The creature smirked and said, "Finally, I get a real fight." My master left this insignificant planet in my care, and I think it holds plenty of potential. All I need to do is turn the weaklings here into my slaves." Naruto glared at the being. "What do you mean, enslave us?" The creature replied. "This world was handed to me by my master." Naruto demanded, "Who the hell is your master?" With pride, the beast answered, "My master is none other than the almighty Kurumi, the great-grandson of Frieza." Naruto's eyes widened, his skin going pale. From inside, the Kyuubi muttered darkly, "We are royally screwed." Naruto and Lee both stared at the massive figure, frozen in fear, too frightened to even move, almost. The monster tapped the device on its ear, and glowing yellow lines scanned across his visor. He raised a finger toward Naruto. "Power levels, 270,000. Then he turned to Lee. "And you, 220,000. Mere insects compared to me, but maybe you'll serve as a nice warm-up." Naruto snarled back, "You think you're unbeatable, we'll show you otherwise." Typical Saiyan arrogance. "Shut it," Naruto and the Kyuubi thought at the same time. The creature laughed mockingly. "Kid, I sit at over 800,000. I could crush you with a flick of my finger. You stand no chance against the great and mighty Teiost." Naruto blinked. "Teiost? Seriously, that sounds like bread." "Whatever, let's fight." Lee tugged Naruto's arm. "What are you thinking? We should retreat and bring reinforcements." Naruto shook his head firmly. "No way, I'll never run from a battle. I'll fight here, win or die trying." Lee growled. "You idiot, this is suicide. There's a time to stand and a time to retreat. Guess which one this is?" Naruto paused, thought for a second, then grinned. "Time to fight." He dashed straight at Teiost. The monster smirked, not even worried. Naruto leapt and slammed a kick into the jewel on its chest. Teiost winced slightly, then whipped his tail around, swatting Naruto down. Naruto rolled across the dirt and landed beside Lee. "Got any better ideas?" Lee muttered. Naruto pushed himself up. "Yeah, duck." He tackled Lee just as a pink energy beam tore through the space they had been standing in. Teiost had fired it. Naruto helped Lee to his feet. "You can still use those gates, right?" Lee nodded hesitantly. "Maybe, but the toll on my body is immense. With 4 gates open, I could annihilate him, but my insides would shred apart." "What if you open just 2?" Naruto asked. Lee dodged a beam, then answered between movements. "The first gate lifts the brain's restraint on the muscles, granting 5 times normal strength. The second restores stamina, making a worn-out fighter as fresh as at the start." Naruto smirked. "Perfect. Open one now, save the second for later. Together, we'll bring him down." They braced themselves as Teiost charged another death beam. Naruto counted under his breath. 3, 2, 1, just fire it already." The monster unleashed it, and Naruto shouted, "Move!" They split Naruto low, Lee high. Naruto struck Teost's shin, while Lee spun and kicked his face. Naruto followed up by striking the chest jewel again. Landing behind Teiost, Lee used Naruto as a springboard. Naruto crouched, letting Lee run up his back and launch high into the air. Lee spun midair. "Leaf Great Whirlwind." His right leg smashed into Teost's face, then he twisted and landed a crushing heel strike that staggered the giant. Teiost swung in rage, smashing the ground where Lee had been a second before. Lee countered with a sharp kick to Teost's elbow, cracking it. Naruto wasn't idle, he raced in with hand signs. "Lightning style, false darkness." A massive bolt of lightning speared Teiost. Naruto created a clone and both prepared jutsu. "Fire style, grand fireball jutsu." "Wind style, great breakthrough." The fire mixed with wind, blasting into Teost's body and burning his armor black. The beast roared in fury. "Enough, playtime is over." He blurred forward, faster than Naruto could see, and punched him square in the chest. Pain exploded through Naruto's ribs. Lee tried to help but was flung aside by Teost's tail. As Naruto gasped on the ground, Teiost sneered. "I'll enjoy dragging out your deaths." But suddenly, bam, a fist smashed his face, sending him tumbling. He looked up, stunned. Lee stood over Naruto, transformed. His hair lifted unnaturally, his body glowing with a blazing white aura, muscles tensed and veins bulging. The scouter on Teost's face beeped wildly, 900,000. Terrified, Teiost braced himself, but Lee's fist already cracked into his jaw, breaking the scouter. He followed with a furious combo, shouting "Leaf Violent Wind." Teiost stumbled. Lee unleashed Leaf Rising Wind, kicking him skyward, then appeared behind him. "Leaf Shadow Dance." He pummeled his side, spinning around before slamming down a devastating strike. Konoha Reiken! The blow crushed Teiost to the ground, leaving a crater. Lee landed, aura fading, panting heavily. Naruto staggered up, impressed. But then Teiost rose again, blood dripping from his mouth, jewel cracked, armor scorched. He sneered, "That was your best, pathetic, now you die." He charged Lee, intent to kill. Naruto, refusing to let him, blasted 12 Kai orbs at the monster despite his agony. Each one exploded across Teost's body, staggering him. Naruto summoned clones to stall him and rushed to Lee's side. Lee's aura dimmed. Naruto pleaded, "Lee, stop, you've done enough. I'll finish him." But Lee shook his head, eyes burning. "No, I swore I would never be useless. Everyone mocked me at the academy for lacking ninjutsu and genjutsu, even my own teammate belittled me. I vowed I'd prove them wrong. I'll never let myself be seen as weak again. And I won't let you face this alone, Naruto. I'll fight to the very end." His aura surged. He roared, "Second gate, third gate, Cumin, Saiyan, gate of rest. Gate of life open." His skin flushed crimson, eyes blazing white as his power skyrocketed. He rocketed forward, slamming into Teiost like a cannonball, the battlefield trembling under the sheer force. Naruto began gathering energy, forcing his body to push toward a state similar to Super Saiyan as much as possible. He could sense a barrier holding him back, and little by little he pressed against it. With a roar, he broke through, though not completely. He let out another scream as raw energy poured into him. It wasn't the true strength of a Super Saiyan, but it was close. A golden glow wrapped around him, his muscles bulking up considerably. He tried to maintain control over the surge, but he wasn't able to cross into the full transformation. Snapping back into focus, Naruto turned his attention toward the battlefield. He saw Lee pouring everything he had against Teiost, his stamina clearly waning. Naruto shot forward, arriving just as Lee slipped beneath Teost's tail. Charging Kai in his hands, Naruto unleashed a massive blast straight at Teiost. As the smoke cleared, Naruto drove a punch into Teost's gut, forcing him upward. He hovered in the air and hammered strike after strike into Teost's chest and face. Lee joined in, ignoring everything else as he battered Teost's legs and midsection. Teiost could hardly defend against the barrage, blows landing in rapid succession. For 5 whole minutes they pressed him, savoring every sound of pain Teiost made. Naruto kneed him hard in the chest and followed up with a dropkick to the face. Lee prepared to charge again, but Naruto stopped him. They waited, and when Teiost staggered back up, the only thing he heard was lightning release, false darkness, alongside Naruto's cry of riot javelin. Both attacks struck at once, creating a blinding flash with Teost's scream echoing inside it. Naruto and Lee smirked, thinking it was finally finished. Breathing heavy, they let go of their heightened states, slapped hands, and shared a grin. Just as they were about to celebrate, a groan echoed across the field. They turned to see Teiost rising again. Damn it, what would it take to bring this monster down? His armor was cracked and scorched, gems shattered, the plating on his back and arms destroyed, and nearly 2 feet of his tail gone. Naruto's shadow clones had long since vanished, leaving only the 2 of them. Exhaustion weighed heavy, but Teiost still refused to fall. Naruto's eyes narrowed. He funneled Kai through his body and launched forward, slamming his fist into Teost's face. As Teiost reeled back, Naruto looped around and struck his spine. He chased him skyward, hammering a kick into his stomach, an uppercut to the jaw, and smashing both fists down onto his head. As Teiost plummeted, Naruto gathered Kai in both palms, shouting, "Why won't you just die? Double riot javelin." He hurled one blast, then the second right after. Even as they connected, Naruto knew Teiost wasn't finished. He needed more. "Fox, lend me some chakra." "Are you insane? My chakra wrecks your body. You could die. Better me than thousands of others. I need this power now." Just like your father. He challenged me knowing he'd lose, yet still fought. "Fine, brat, I'll give you some, but if you push too far, I'm cutting you off." Deal. A violent wave of energy rushed through Naruto's body. It felt strange, yet incredibly powerful. He roared, a blood-red aura bursting around him. His eyes sharpened into slits, nails turned to claws, fangs lengthened, and his hair stood on end under the raging aura. Naruto shot at Teiost again. His clawed strike slashed across Teost's arm, cutting skin despite the block. Teiost whipped his tail, smashing Naruto back, but Naruto countered by catching his kick and channeling chakra into his palm, driving it into Tio's knee. The scream of agony made Naruto smirk. Spinning his leg around, Naruto hurled Tio's aside, about to strike again when a cry of "Leaf Hurricane" rang out. Lee's kick connected, sending Tio's flying. Naruto darted after, his strike aimed at the chest while Lee's followed for the head. Tio's managed to dodge Naruto's blow, but Lee's landed clean, knocking him back. Naruto then flipped upward, his heels smashing into Tio's chest and dropping him. Both Naruto and Lee stood panting, their bodies trembling with exhaustion. Before they could recover, Lee was suddenly kicked across the battlefield, replaced by an enraged Tio's. Naruto lunged with a left hook, but Tio's dodged and whipped his tail, smashing Naruto into the forest. Tio's chuckled, only to grunt as a Kai blast slammed into him, destroying the scouter on his ear. With Naruto struggled back up, some of the fox's energy fading away. Through the trees he spotted Tio's scanning the battlefield, the device on his ear destroyed. Naruto noticed but ignored it. He needed to regroup and strike from behind, so he vanished into the woods. With Lee groaned, barely conscious. He forced himself to rise, however slow, determined to stand by Naruto's side. With Tio's smirked to himself. He thought the brats were dead at last. They had pushed him harder than expected, but it was over. If stronger warriors existed on this world, he'd need backup. Still, he laughed. Those pests won't be troubling anyone again. Too lost in his arrogance, he didn't notice Naruto preparing another assault. Naruto circling through the forest, Naruto came up behind Tio's. Seeing him distracted, Naruto cupped his hands together, channeling the fox's chakra into them. With a cry of Cyclone Buster, he released 12 crimson blasts. The first struck, staggering Tio's, and the rest smashed into him relentlessly. Naruto then appeared right in front of him, pressing a glowing red sphere into his face before detonating it point-blank. The explosion hurled Naruto back, leaving him winded but alive. Recovering, he quickly created 5 shadow clones, leaving them to pester Tio's. One clone shouted, "Yeah, bastard," as he fired a water bullet, while another unleashed false darkness. Naruto chuckled and soared high into the sky, cupping his hands for a familiar technique. Kamehameha, but before he could release it, a voice called, "Stop! Let me!" Naruto turned to see a man with spiky hair jutting upward to a single point. He wore a black short-sleeved shirt under a purple jacket, white gloves, black pants, and boots tipped with brown. His very aura screamed authority and overwhelming strength. If Naruto wasn't already hardened, he might have been terrified. The stranger charged his attack differently, hands parallel rather than cupped, and his blast glowed purple, crackling with wild sparks. Some licked at Naruto, but the man ignored it, eyes fixed on Tio's. Gallic gun fire! The beam tore through the night sky, catching Tio's off guard since his scouter was gone and the clones still distracted him. The bright flare was visible for miles, but most who saw it dismissed it as ninja training. Tio's finally looked up, eyes wide as the purple wave bore down on him. With no chance to dodge, he thrust his hands forward, channeling all his power. Domination blast! The two energies collided, but Tio's was quickly overwhelmed. He leapt aside just in time to avoid the brunt of it, but the shockwaves shredded more of the orbs embedded in his body. Landing heavily, he wiped imaginary sweat from his brow. That was too damn close. With Naruto, when Naruto glanced upward, he noticed the man who had just attacked him remove his jacket and hand it over. The stranger tightened his fists at his waist, and a golden aura suddenly flared around him. His hair spiked up, his eyes shifted into a sharp green, and his body bulked slightly with new muscle. Naruto was stunned, not only because the man was clearly a Saiyan, but because he transformed into a Super Saiyan with almost no strain at all. Without hesitation, the man shot toward Tio's at blinding speed, faster than anything Naruto had witnessed before. Naruto gave chase, watching as the man shouted, "Final impact!" and unleashed a flurry of devastating punches and kicks, each blow landing cleanly against Tio's. In one swift motion, he pulled his right leg back, its aura glowing pure white, then slammed it directly into the jewel at Tio's core, shattering it completely. He shifted his stance, channeling his energy, and thrust out his arm. A surge of lightning-charged Kai erupted, blasting straight through Tio's chest and tearing out the other side. Teio froze, staring in disbelief at the massive hole now carved into his body. He collapsed to his knees, fear flickering in his eyes as he faced the mysterious warrior. Naruto approached, just in time to see the man seize Teio's head and flood it with Kai before detonating him into fragments. Naruto couldn't help but think that this warrior hadn't even needed the transformation to win. The golden aura faded away as the man extended his hand for his jacket. Naruto returned it, and the man gave a short grunt of thanks before turning toward the trees. Moments later, Lee stumbled out of the forest before collapsing. The man walked over, hoisted Lee onto his shoulder, and looked at Naruto. "Kid, you know how to fly, right?" Naruto nodded. "Good, keep up." The man took off, and Naruto followed close behind. They arrived at a barren field where a metallic panel rested on the ground. A robotic voice spoke. "Retinal and fingerprint verification required." The stranger pressed his hand onto the scanner and leaned forward for the eye check. Naruto watched in shock. He thought only he had access to this place after his father's death. The device chimed. "Verification complete. Welcome, Vegeta Briefs Jr." The ground rumbled and opened beneath them. Vegeta Jr. stepped onto the rising platform, and Naruto hurried after him as the elevator descended swiftly into the hidden facility. Underground lab inside the base, Vegeta Jr. strode ahead without slowing, forcing Naruto to jog to keep up. They soon entered a chamber labeled Regeneration Tank. Inside, the left wall was covered in computers, while the right side was lined with strange white capsules. Each unit had a glass door, various buttons, and long black breathing devices dangling from above. Vegeta Jr. gently placed Lee into one of the tanks, fitting the breathing mask over his mouth and securing it with a white strap. He sealed the capsule and tapped several controls. A green liquid began to flow from tubes in the walls, filling the chamber. Naruto panicked as the fluid rose past Lee's chin. "What the hell are you doing?" "He's gonna drown." Vegeta Jr. shot him a calm look. "Relax, that liquid accelerates recovery. The mask is providing oxygen. He's safe, just unconscious. Honestly, you should get in too. You took a nasty hit earlier." Naruto started to protest. "I'm fine, I don't AHH." Pain shot through his ribs, making him wince. Grumbling, he climbed into the chamber beside Lee's and strapped in, catching Vegeta Jr.'s smirk. As the liquid surrounded him, Naruto realized it was oddly soothing, easing his pain. Trusting Vegeta Jr., he allowed himself to drift into sleep. Outside the tank, Vegeta Jr. paced before the glowing monitors. Data scrolled across the screens. Lee had suffered strained muscles, mild concussion, fractures in his knuckles, skull, and chest, but 30 minutes in the tank would restore him fully. Naruto's condition, however, was far worse. 5 cracked ribs, a major concussion, overexerted chakra system, fractured jaw, burned hands from Kai attacks, nearly broken knuckles, a punctured liver, and a skull fracture. 40 minutes of healing should bring him back, but it was no small matter. Seeing both their vitals stabilize, Vegeta Jr. exhaled in relief. He left the chamber, heading down the corridor to a room marked Chemistry Lab. Inside, he unlocked a large container filled with exotic roots and plants. Carefully, he began mixing them with rare ingredients from the shelves. After 5 years of searching, his collection was finally complete. 30 minutes later, Lee's recovery bar on the monitor ticked to completion. While Naruto still had lingering damage, his chakra system was stressed, liver puncture unresolved, and minor concussion remaining. Lee's eyes fluttered open. Realizing he was submerged in glowing fluid, he panicked and looked for escape, preparing to bang on the glass. A muffled voice reassured him. "Hold on, I'll let you out in a second." The liquid drained away, and the lid swung open. A familiar figure leaned in, removing the mask. "Hey, son, how have you been?" Lee's eyes filled with tears as he whispered, "Father." He threw his arms around Vegeta Jr., sobbing. "I'm sorry for being gone. But I'm here now, and I'm not leaving again." The heartfelt reunion made Naruto chuckle from inside his own chamber. "Man's moments like this make me wish my old man was still around, so I could sock him in the face." Both father and son laughed, and Naruto soon joined in. "How are you feeling, Lee?" "Like that fight never even happened," Lee replied. "That's the Regen tank for you," Vegeta Jr. said proudly. Naruto frowned. "Wait, you know about this? I thought my dad built all of this." Vegeta Jr. smirked, then burst out laughing. Your father, please, he wasn't anywhere near smart enough for this, I built it. Naruto blinked. Then where the hell have you been all this time? Traveling the world, gathering what I needed. Just came back last week. Then I sensed your power spike and had to bail you two out. Naruto scowled. I could have finished him with my Kamehameha if you let me. Maybe, Vegeta Jr. said, but no one injures my son and walks away. Naruto sighed. Fine, anyway, mind letting me out. I'm done soaking in here. Checking the monitor, Vegeta Jr. saw that Naruto's major injuries were gone, leaving only minor hand pain. He released the chamber. Naruto stepped out, shaking off the liquid. So, you're Vegeta Jr., Vegeta nodded. And you, Naruto, you're my godson. Naruto froze. Wait, what? I tried to adopt you years ago, but the Konoha Council blocked it. They've done everything to make your life miserable. I was this close. He held his fingers barely apart to wiping them out. Naruto clenched his fists. Too bad you didn't. Those bastards deserve it. Vegeta Jr.'s eyes narrowed. You're not wrong. I nearly destroyed the village myself after they ignored the Sandame's law. Took everything I had not to. Naruto nodded grimly. So, what exactly were you searching for all this time? Vegeta glanced at Lee. I was finding a cure for his illness. Naruto's eyes widened. Illness? Vegeta's expression hardened. Yes, it's something that runs through our royal bloodline. He clenched his fists, golden energy erupting as he transformed once again into Super Saiyan. Lee gasped. Dad, your hair, your eyes, what's happening? Patiently, Vegeta began explaining their Saiyan heritage, answering every question. He revealed the truth about the genetic disease, one unique to the royal Saiyan family. It crippled their ability to generate Kai, weakening the body until, by the age of 18, it would kill them completely. On planet Vegeta, treatment was simple, but here, it had taken him years to recreate the cure. At last, he had everything he needed. They were instructed on how to prepare the remedy, and infants were often given it in a bottle since the medicine was liquid. The issue was that the ingredients Vegeta needed to create it only grew in certain regions of the world. He had to travel far and wide, testing and experimenting to discover which plants could heal Lee, since the proper ones didn't naturally exist on that planet. On top of that, he had to ensure none of the mixtures turned toxic and killed Lee instead. After hearing the story, Naruto asked, So, did you finish making it yet? Vegeta nodded, replying, I'm about to wrap it up now. Lee questioned, How long does it take to finish? Vegeta answered, Roughly an hour. I've only got a small part left to complete. Why don't you two head to the GR and train for a while? Naruto replied, Got it. After sparring with Lee under double gravity, Naruto and Lee were met by Vegeta Jr., who brought the remedy. Once Lee drank it, he instantly collapsed into deep sleep. Vegeta Jr. lifted him up and carried him to a resting chamber, placing him down carefully. He then suggested Naruto do the same, offering to help him train since that one-eyed idiot isn't doing his damn job. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto was suddenly pulled into his inner world, standing in the peaceful meadow he had shaped for the Kyuubi. He drifted into a dream where he was with Temari from the Wind Country. Before the dream could turn too steamy, the Kyuubi yanked him out of it. Naruto glared at the beast with fury, shouting, You bastard! The Kyuubi toppled over in laughter. Kid, in case you didn't realize, I'm the one who gave you that dream. You should be thanking me for it. Naruto kept glaring and growled, Shut the hell up. The fox chuckled. Whatever. Anyway, I pulled you here to tell you something. From how your father made it sound, that Teiost fool was nothing compared to Kurumi. Kurumi carries the bloodline of Frieza and isn't to be underestimated. I can teach you more jutsu, but some are out of my reach. And with that useless teacher of yours, you're not going to learn much anytime soon. Naruto asked, So what do I do then? The Kyuubi said, Your father always pushed you to work on chakra control. I'm telling you the same thing. Focus on the spiritual side of chakra. You already have complete command over your Kai. If you master your spiritual energy just as well, your chakra control will surpass what you have now. Also, talk to the Hokage about finding someone to teach you kenjutsu and get yourself a proper sword. Naruto muttered, And what about Sasuke? The fox scoffed, Don't care. Help him if you want, but he's fine on his own. Also, ask Lee and Vegeta about what I did for you. Kami knows you can't handle a woman. Naruto snapped. Hey! The Kyuubi sneered, Shut it. You know it's true. When a girl kisses you, don't just freeze like a statue. You take control. If the survival of the Saiyan race rested on you, they'd already be extinct. Naruto grumbled, "Screw you," glaring at the beast. The Kyuubi only smirked, "Burn in hell," before tossing Naruto back into his dreams. Night of the Teiost battle, Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai, and Guy gathered in the Hokage's office. Kakashi had pitched the idea of a tournament between the rookie squads, so the four Jounin were meeting the Hokage to seek approval. The Hokage asked, "Why push for this tournament, Kakashi?" Ever since Naruto had revealed the truth about Team 7 earlier that day, the Hokage had been keeping an eye on him. Kakashi said, "Hokage-sama, the Chunin exams are 6 months away. Honestly, my team isn't ready. Sakura doesn't take her role seriously, Naruto relies too much on one trick and lacks fighting skill, and only Sasuke is even close to being prepared." The Hokage acted like he was considering Kakashi's words, but in truth he thought, bullshit. He has some hidden agenda. If he cared, he would have done something these past 2 months as their sensei. I'll figure out his true reasons soon enough. He then turned, "Kurenai, your thoughts?" Kurenai said, "At first, Hokage-sama, I didn't want my team involved. Hinata is too timid, Kiba depends on Akamaru too much, and Shino struggles against fire jutsu. But after Guy spoke to me, I think seeing how their peers measure up might push them to grow stronger." The Hokage nodded. "Asuma, your reasoning?" Asuma said, "I won't sugarcoat it, Dad. Shikamaru is brilliant but too lazy. Ino wastes time on her looks, shows up late, and is soft-hearted. Choji's strong but overweight, tires fast, and doesn't see the value in speed to match his strength. Plus, none of them know anything outside their clan techniques, and even though they've been together since birth, they don't mesh well as a unit." When Kakashi suggested this, I agreed. From their academy files, Kiba is the quickest among them. Seeing him fight might push Choji to value speed. If Ino fought Sakura and saw they were equals, it could drive her to improve. Naruto has the largest chakra reserves of all the rookies. Watching him could motivate Shikamaru to train his stamina and put his brains to better use. The Hokage asked, Guy said, "I believe my team is already ready for the exams. But I want them in this tournament to gauge their competition, and so the rookies see what lies ahead if they join." The Hokage said, "All right, each of you gave good reasons, except you, Guy. I think it's really because of your rivalry with Kakashi, but your excuse is acceptable, I'll approve it. But hear me, no one dies and no one loses limbs. If they do, I'll have your heads." Understood, all four Jounin swallowed hard and answered in unison, "Yes, Hokage-sama." Kakashi smirked inwardly, perfect. My plan went through. Present time, Naruto awoke from his conversation with the Kyuubi, now motivated. He went to check on Lee, who looked the same physically, but Naruto was shocked. Though his Kai sensing skills were still weak, he could tell Lee's energy had skyrocketed. Naruto dressed in his version of his clan's gi, black with red accents, a red bandana, and a ninja band tied around his left arm, and stepped into the GR. The chamber was empty, so he powered it on. He summoned 20 robots at the same settings as before: speed, 18 strength, 14 endurance, 20 stamina, 20 Kai blasts, 15 combat, 14 and prepared himself. The machines rushed him instantly. Naruto flipped over one, kicking it in the head, dodged a blast, and countered with one of his own. He rushed forward with a flying kick but got blasted back by another robot. Damn, he thought, retaliating with a volley of Kai beams before slamming his fist into its face. Another bot kicked him from behind, forcing him to leap away. He unleashed more Kai blasts, burning their armor but not breaking it. One robot bulldozed through the barrage and struck Naruto in the chest. He responded by sending it flying with a punch. Another tackled him down, but Naruto pummeled it until it flew off. He kept fighting, dodging, and striking, until frustration boiled over. Charging a riot javelin with 40% of his chakra, he hurled it at the group. He then blasted the first robot with 10 rapid Kai shots, destroying it instantly. 3 more bots fell, leaving a dozen still standing. Naruto roared and charged into battle. Minutes later, he had wiped them all out. He checked the console, 7:30 a.m. leaving the GR, he saw Lee awake, now wearing a dark blue tank top, black pants, and white boots like trunks. Naruto asked, "Hey Lee, how are you feeling?" Lee replied, "I feel renewed, Naruto, energetic and alive. With this power inside me, I know this is the start of a new path. I'm not sure where it'll lead. Naruto grinned. That's easy. Help your dad wipe out those monsters that destroyed your home planet. Teiost was just the beginning, there are stronger ones out there. We'll need to be ready. And hey, maybe smash Neji in a fight while you're at it, Lee said. That's an excellent and very youthful suggestion. Maybe I'll give it a try. Naruto grinned, replying, That's the way, Lee. But we should hurry and find our squads, or we'll be in serious trouble. Lee's eyes widened. Crap, you're right. Damn, it's already 7:45. If I'm late, Guy-sensei will never forgive me. As they sprinted toward the elevator, Naruto glanced over at Lee and noticed something unusual. His hair had turned lavender. Once they stepped inside, Naruto frowned. Hold on a sec, Lee. Since when did you have purple hair? Lee answered calmly. That's my real hair color. When I first joined the academy, people teased me endlessly because of it. So I dyed it black so they wouldn't laugh. Naruto asked. Then why not dye it today? Lee shrugged. Well, first off, I didn't have any dye with me since I stayed here overnight. Second, I'm done hiding who I really am. If people whisper about me, that just proves they're too scared to say it to my face. Naruto chuckled. True, and when they do say it to your face, they end up getting their butts handed to them. The elevator doors finally slid open, and the two parted ways with quick goodbyes. Naruto dashed off to his squad's meeting point, where Sakura and Sasuke were already waiting. He sat down beside Sasuke, both of them waiting for Kakashi's arrival. Meanwhile, other squads gathered too, being told that missions were cancelled for the day. Instead, all teams were summoned to Training Ground 7 for a joint tournament arranged by the Jonin. Guy's squad was included as well, making it a 12-person event. Just as everyone assembled, Kakashi appeared. Kakashi smirked inwardly. Breaking Naruto's spirit will be effortless. All right, Kakashi said aloud. Everyone's here. Time to kick off this tournament. Kiba frowned. Tournament? Nobody mentioned that to me. Kakashi explained. This was something Asuma, Kurenai, Guy, and I put together last night. The purpose is to build teamwork and cooperation among Konoha's genin. Plus, in 6 months, there's a big exam coming up. We want you all prepared, so this will help you spot your weaknesses and fix them before then. Now relax while we set up the matchups. He gestured toward the familiar wooden posts where Team 7 usually met. Most of the genin gathered there, except Naruto, who wandered off toward the memorial stone. Kneeling down, he traced the engraved names with his eyes until he found Minato Namikaze. Closing his eyes, he whispered a small prayer. When he opened them, he muttered, Hope you're watching me, Dad. I'll win this tournament for you. But he wasn't alone. A voice behind him sneered, You win this, don't make me laugh. Fate has already chosen me as the victor. It's my destiny to win and yours to lose, rookie. Naruto turned to face the speaker. A boy wearing black shorts, a sleeveless white jacket, and bandages on his arm and leg. His long hair was tied into a ponytail, and his pale eyes lacked pupils. Naruto stood and glared. Destiny has nothing to do with it, Neji Hyuga. This is about skill, not some made-up fate. And if fate says you'll win, then I'll just rewrite it myself. Neji scoffed. Why am I even wasting words on garbage like you? The two locked eyes, white against black, tensions sparking between them. Naruto sneered, Funny, you sound just like the Hyuga main family you claim to despise. You're so stuck up you probably choke on your own arrogance. Move aside. I've got a tournament to prepare for. I'll show you who the real trash is, Hyuga. He shoved past Neji roughly and returned to Sasuke. What was that about? Sasuke asked. Naruto growled, That bastard thinks he's superior because of his clan. I'll prove to him that relying on a family name doesn't mean anything. Sasuke chuckled. That's your specialty. If you hadn't challenged me back in the academy, I'd have never learned that lesson and probably died early on. Naruto grinned. Exactly. Can't do anything right without me around. Sasuke smirked. Don't get cocky. Just because you've got mixed blood from some legendary warrior race doesn't mean I won't beat you from here to Iwagakure. Naruto smirked back. Try me. Lee walked over. Enjoying yourselves, Naruto? Naruto shrugged. I'll be having fun once the fight list is posted. I'm itching for a match, Lee smiled. Who isn't? Sasuke added. Naruto, be careful, you know Kakashi's gunning for you. This tournament could get messy. Naruto replied, Why worry? I've got you two backing me up, don't I? Obviously, Sasuke and Lee said together. Naruto grinned. Good enough for me. Soon, the Jonin returned with the matchups. Naruto Uzumaki vs. Kiba Inuzuka Neji, Hyuga vs. Hinata Hyuga Choji, Akimichi vs. Tenten Higurashi Rock, Lee vs. Shikamaru Nara, Sakura Haruno vs. Ino Yamanaka Sasuke Uchiha vs. Shino Aburame. Naruto wasn't shocked. Kiba might be fast, but his grades were among the worst, just above Naruto and Shikamaru. Kakashi clearly hoped Naruto would doubt himself, then kick him while he was down. Instead, Naruto buried his anger and focused on the fight, eager to really test himself. Across the arena, Kiba was pumped for the opposite reason. He thought Naruto was weak. Yes, we're fighting Naruto. This'll be over quick, right, Akamaru? Akamaru barked, though deep down he sensed Naruto's danger. Still, loyal to Kiba, he pretended to agree. Exactly, Kiba grinned. You're going down, Uzumaki. Naruto smirked. We'll see, dog breath. By the end, you'll eat those words. Kakashi stepped between them, acting as referee. Listen up. Clean fight only, no killing. First to surrender or pass out loses. Ready, begin. He leapt back, starting the match. Kiba crouched on all fours, performing hand signs. Beast mimicry, 4 legs technique. He surged forward with newfound speed, slamming into Naruto and sending him flying 6 feet back. Naruto lay still. Kiba smirked. Call it, Kakashi-sensei, he's finished. Naruto suddenly pushed himself up. That was nothing. You caught me off guard, sure, but it barely hurt. Now let's fight for real. He rushed Kiba with a feint, creating an afterimage at the last second. Kiba blocked the illusionary strike, only to be nailed from behind. Naruto laughed. Like that, it's called the afterimage technique. Consider us even. Kiba growled. I was just taking it easy. Naruto smirked. Good, because I'm only warming up. He propelled himself forward with a burst of Kai, trading blows with Kiba. Kiba ducked one punch and countered with a gut shot, then kneed Naruto in the face, making him stagger. Recovering, Naruto dodged another wild charge and formed 3 shadow clones. The clones attacked with Kai-infused strikes, surprising Kiba and knocking him back before dispersing. Naruto nodded, pleased with the damage. Kiba angrily threw smoke bombs, but Naruto blew them away with wind style. Great breakthrough. Just then, Akamaru lunged at Naruto. Grabbing the pup midair, Naruto hurled him straight at Kiba. Kiba caught his partner, furious, but didn't notice Naruto preparing another jutsu. Lightning style, false darkness. A spear of lightning shot toward him. He barely dodged, only to get smashed by Naruto's fist. Gritting his teeth, Kiba popped a soldier pill into his mouth and fed one to Akamaru. The dog's fur turned red, his features becoming wild and feral. Akamaru leapt onto Kiba's back, placing his paws together. Kiba mirrored him, pressing his hands together before shouting, Beast Human Clone Jutsu. Akamaru barked, then transformed into a copy of Kiba, though his features appeared wilder and more feral. Kiba quickly formed hand signs and called out, All Fours Jutsu! His power and speed surged, his posture now resembling Akamaru's animalistic stance. This is where it ends, dead last, Kiba sneered. Time to prove who the strongest genin really is. Akamaru jumped off Kiba, and the two pushed off each other's momentum. Twisting in sync, they spun rapidly while shouting, Dual Piercing Fang, as they rocketed toward Naruto. Naruto spotted their charge and leapt high to avoid them, but was caught off guard when they pursued him into the air. He barely escaped with a swift retreat, leaving behind an afterimage. Landing on the arena floor, he turned just as Kiba and Akamaru hit the ground and prepared to launch again. Naruto sidestepped Akamaru, then flipped cleanly over Kiba's partner, but Kiba managed to catch him mid-movement. The blow sent Naruto flying several feet before he crashed hard into the dirt. Groaning, he began to rise when Kiba's mocking voice cut in. See that, loser? You'll never top me. I'm the best genin here, and I'll be Hokage before you ever dream of it. Honestly, you're not even worthy of licking the dust from my sandals. All right, that's it. I've had enough of holding back. Time to end this match. Naruto lifted himself slowly, eyes shadowed under his bangs before smirking. His figure blurred out of sight. In an instant, he reappeared behind Akamaru, slamming a kick into his back. Kiba lunged to retaliate, claws swiping, but Naruto's form flickered into nothing but an afterimage. Appearing directly in front of Kiba, Naruto drilled a fist into his face, then followed with 3 quick strikes to his torso. Akamaru lunged with piercing fang, but Naruto casually hurled Kiba into the attack's path and vanished again. 10 feet away, Naruto appeared, palms glowing with energy. He unleashed a storm of 20 Kai blasts that exploded against Kiba and Akamaru. With that, the fight was over. Kakashi walked onto the field, mask hiding his reluctance as he declared Naruto the winner. Naruto calmly joined Sasuke and Lee. Sasuke let out a whistle. "Damn, when did you get that good?" Naruto shrugged. "Just training. I've been at it for a couple weeks now. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too tough." "Then why's it such a grind for me?" Sasuke muttered. Naruto replied, "You've only been practicing about 13 days. I've been at it for the equivalent of 34. Lee's eyes gleamed. "Naruto, you must pass that fiery technique on to me. If I fail, I'll run around the village 40 times without rest. And if I—" His vow was cut short by Naruto planting a fist in his stomach. Meanwhile, medics tended to Kiba. Though bruised and lightly burned, he was still in one piece. As he staggered off to rejoin the others, Kakashi called for the next bout. Second match, Hinata Hyuga versus Neji Hyuga. "Ready, begin," Kakashi retreated as the cousins clashed. The fight unfolded similar to the Chunin exams, so I'll skip ahead. At the end, Hinata clutched her chest. "You're wrong, Neji. You're the one carrying deeper pain than me." Neji narrowed his eyes. "What are you saying?" Hinata gasped. "You're trapped, suffering under the curse of the head and branch families." Neji's temper snapped, and he roared, charging her. Before the Jonin could intervene, Naruto sprinted forward. Neji's rush came to an abrupt halt with Naruto's fist buried in his stomach. Naruto ignored him and knelt by Hinata. She was collapsed, barely breathing, but a medic was already arriving. "Name's Raditz Nappa," the man said. "The Hokage sent me to handle injuries. I'll take her." He brushed past the Jonin and crouched by Hinata. Naruto started to say, "V," but the medic silenced him with a whisper. "Quiet, I'll handle this." Vegeta then scooped Hinata up and carried her off before anyone questioned him. Naruto turned back toward Neji, who was struggling to stand. He got up close and snapped. "What the hell was that? This was a spar, not a deathmatch. You nearly killed her." Neji sneered. "And what do you care? I don't answer to trash like you." Naruto's glare darkened. "Fine, since you won this round, we'll meet in the semis. Neji, I'll make you beg." The following matches continued. Tenten vs. Choji ended when she exploited the flaw in his human boulder jutsu and forced him to surrender at sword point. Lee overwhelmed Shikamaru with speed and hand-to-hand combat, finishing with a kunai at his throat. Sakura quickly gave up to Ino's mind transfer jutsu. Shino forfeited against Sasuke, wary of fire against his insects. Soon, the semifinal brackets were posted. Naruto Uzumaki vs. Neji Hyuga Rock Lee vs. Tenten Higurashi Ino Yamanaka vs. Sasuke Uchiha. As Naruto stepped into the ring, Neji smirked. "Give up, loser. Fate doesn't change." Naruto smirked back. "Guess I'll prove fate wrong then." When the match began, Naruto vanished. Neji activated his Byakugan and countered his ambush with a palm strike. Naruto barely flinched, mocking him before creating 20 clones. Most rushed Neji, while Naruto and 3 clones combined fire style. Grand fireball with wind style. Great breakthrough. The flames expanded monstrously, engulfing the arena. When the smoke cleared, Neji stood, winded and singed, but unbroken. "See, even your strongest won't work on me." Naruto chuckled coldly. "Who said that was my strongest?" He multiplied into 40 clones, but Neji blew them away with 8 trigrams. Rotation. "You fool, you're inside my range," Neji snapped, preparing. 8 trigrams, 64 palms. Neji struck with blistering speed, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and finally 64 precise hits, finishing with a palm thrust that sent Naruto reeling back. Naruto dropped to his knees, chakra sealed off. But when he tried channeling Kai instead, it worked. His eyes widened, but he saved the thought for later. Neji taunted Kakashi, "Call it or I'll finish him." Naruto's weak voice rang out, "Don't stop it. I won't quit." Then, smirking, he left only an afterimage for Neji to strike. Naruto appeared elsewhere, pelting him with Kai blasts. Neji's rotation deflected them until Naruto charged a massive beam. Neji spun faster to withstand it, but the sheer force broke through. Barely escaping, he stumbled straight into Naruto's Kai-infused punch, knocking him out cold. "The worst of the class just beat you, Neji," Naruto said firmly. Fate doesn't decide our future, we do. As Neji was carried away by Vegeta, Naruto rejoined Sasuke and Lee, waiting for the next fight. Kiba, Choji, and Shino approached, still wide-eyed. Damn Naruto, Kiba muttered. What the hell were those yellow blasts? Choji paused mid-bite from his chips and muttered, Yeah, I remember you pulling those same moves on Kiba during his fight. Shino adjusted his glasses and added, That's correct. Uzumaki-san, I think we're all curious about what kind of techniques you used back there. Naruto, already prepared with a fabricated story, replied, A friend of my father's knew those skills. My dad died during the Kyubai's attack on the village, and that friend took it really hard. He didn't even know I existed until we crossed paths in the Land of Waves not long ago. After that, he started teaching me those abilities. Kiba gave a low whistle and asked, Any chance we could learn them too? Naruto shrugged. It's possible, but it's basically a family technique. My old man nearly got kicked out of his clan for teaching it to someone outside. They almost executed his friend for learning it. Choji frowned. Man, that's harsh. Shino simply nodded. Indeed, it is. Naruto then pointed toward the field. Anyway, looks like the next match is about to begin. Once Vegeta walked out, the next round was announced. Rock Lee versus Tenten. Lee stepped confidently toward the arena, with Tenten following right behind him. He smiled and said, Best of luck, Tenten, you're going to need it. Tenten smirked back. Not really. Maybe you'll need it more than me. While Lee wasn't paying attention, she reached for a scroll at her hip and released a weapon handle from the seal. Kakashi raised his hand. Ready, Hajime, and leapt clear of the battlefield. Lee didn't hesitate, he dashed straight at her. Tenten, who wasn't a master of taijutsu but had prepared for this, drew a blade from the scroll and swung at Lee. He barely managed to halt and duck under the strike. Responding instantly, Lee aimed a left hook at her chest, but she flipped back and hurled 7 shuriken in his direction. Lee vaulted over the spinning stars, landing swiftly before chasing after her again. He threw another punch, which she avoided, countering with a kunai stab and a sharp kick to his face. Lee rolled back, stunned, but stood again. You're impressive, Tenten. You too, Lee. You nearly caught me with that one. His words made Tenten blink in surprise, but she quickly shook it off. Quit bluffing. In the blink of an eye, Lee vanished from sight. A voice whispered beside her, I'm telling the truth. Before she could react, his fist slammed into her chest. He gripped her arm and hurled her across the arena. Though rattled, Tenten flipped and landed on her feet. She pulled out another scroll, summoning a second sword. Holding both weapons, she rushed Lee head-on. He met her charge without hesitation, exchanging blow for blow. She slashed with her left, which Lee slipped past, only to block the second blade, its edge slicing into his forearm. Damn, if I want to win, I'll need to avoid all of her strikes. Lee focused on dodging every swing, barely keeping up. Her weapon mastery nearly matched his taijutsu, nearly. After noticing her recovery lag between swings, Lee took his chance. As she slashed again, he kicked her wrist, forcing her to drop one sword, then did the same to her other hand, disarming her completely. Realizing the match could end there, Tenten flipped back to put distance between them. She smirked. Wow, you're amazing, Lee, Lee nodded. The same goes for you, Tenten. But then she grinned wickedly, unnerving Lee. What's that look for, Tenten? Oh, nothing, just remembering the one advantage I've got over you. Lee tilted his head. And what's that? Forming rapid hand signs, she tossed 2 scrolls into the air and shouted, Twin Rising Dragon's Jutsu. The scrolls burst in smoke, transforming into twin dragon-shaped spirals that twisted skyward. Using the cover, Tenten leapt high, weapons pouring out of the scrolls at blinding speed. On the ground, Lee's eyes widened. I've seen her practice this. If I'm right, oh no. His thoughts froze as the storm of weapons came raining down on him. Kunai, shuriken, swords, and even massive tools filled the sky before crashing toward him. He dodged the heavier ones, blades, hammers, scythes, but couldn't avoid the rain of smaller projectiles. For 3 whole minutes, the onslaught raged. When the dust cleared, Lee stood bloodied, over 30 weapons piercing his body, yet he remained upright. The field was littered with weapons, a crater marking the center. Inside lay 2 enormous weights. Tenten landed, expecting victory, but froze when she saw Lee still standing. She cursed under her breath but prepared the next stage. Jumping high, she tugged back her hands, revealing chakra threads tied to the weapons. The blades embedded in Lee ripped free, blood spraying as they snapped back to her. Lee roared in pain but was hit again as she hurled them back. He staggered, 10 kunai embedding in his body, yet somehow still moved. With incredible speed, Lee closed the distance, leaping to her height. Leaf whirlwind! His spinning kick sent her crashing back, though she managed to land on her feet. He charged again, throwing a straight punch, dodged by Tenten, then swung his heel into her side. As she stumbled up, Lee said firmly, "It's been a great fight, Tenten, but I need to win." Jumping back, Lee surprised everyone as he wove hand seals. Why? Lee can't use ninjutsu. He doesn't have chakra, his team thought in shock. Finishing, Lee roared, "Wind style. Great breakthrough jutsu." A gale force wind burst forth, blasting Tenten across the arena into a tree, knocking her out cold. Kakashi rushed over, confirmed she was unconscious, and declared, "Winner, Rock Lee." Lee carefully lifted Tenten and passed her to medics before returning. As Sasuke and Ino were called up, Guy sat beside Lee. "Lee, how did you perform those techniques?" Guy asked. Lee smiled faintly. "That's a secret for now, Sensei. Ask me again in private." Guy's tone hardened. "But you also removed your weights without my permission or the need to protect someone precious." Lee froze, realizing what he had done. Before he could speak, Guy struck him across the jaw, sending him flying. Lee stood, bowing his head. "I deserved that, Guy-sensei. Forgive me for breaking your rules." Walking over, Guy softened, smiling. "I'll overlook it this time for your final matches, but don't repeat it. Understand, Lee?" Lee snapped to attention, saluting. "Yes, Guy-sensei," Kakashi then announced. "Next match, Sasuke Uchiha versus Ino Yamanaka." Ino stepped up nervously, torn between her fear and her crush on Sasuke. She couldn't back down, not if she wanted to prove herself. Sasuke smirked. "You know this is already decided, right? Why even bother stepping up here?" Ino steadied herself. "Because if I didn't, I'd look weak. I know I can't win, but I'll still give it my all." That response caught Sasuke off guard, and he actually smiled. "Didn't expect that from one of my fangirls. You know you're likely to lose but still choose to fight. That's admirable, Ino, I respect that." Her eyes lit up, her grin stretching wide. "He likes me. Sasuke-kun actually likes me." Sasuke sighed inwardly. "Great, still too much fangirl in her. I'll have to fix that fast." Both dropped into stances, Sasuke's sharp, Ino's sloppy academy form. Kakashi raised his hand. "Begin!" Sasuke lunged forward lightly, throwing a left punch. Ino parried and countered with her right fist. Sasuke ducked smoothly and swept her legs, but Ino flipped back to recover. She charged, kicking him in the face, sending him reeling with her sandal print on his cheek. Recovering, Sasuke formed quick hand seals. "Fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu." He spat out rapid-fire fireballs, forcing Ino to dodge frantically. When the flames ended, she countered with kunai and shuriken. Sasuke smirked, performed more seals, and unleashed fire style. Grand fireball jutsu. His blazing sphere incinerated every projectile midair. Ino gasped in awe. "He's so cool. Focus, Ino, focus." She dashed in again, striking with punches and a sudden kick, but Sasuke slipped past each attack with ease. After nearly a minute of Sasuke dodging Ino's strikes, he decided to wrap things up since Ino refused to surrender. She launched a high kick towards Sasuke's face, but Sasuke leaned into it to soften the impact. Using that momentum, he crouched low and swept her legs with his right foot, sending her crashing down. As Ino tried to rise, Sasuke pressed a kunai against her throat. With a calm tone he said, "Sorry Ino, but this is my win." Kakashi declared, "Victor, Sasuke Uchiha." Both Ino and Sasuke stood up and walked off. Sasuke noticed the disappointed look on Ino's face. Approaching her, he asked, "Hey, Ino." She turned her head toward him, and Sasuke added, "That was a solid fight. Maybe we could chat about it over lunch sometime." Hearing this, Ino felt her heart race. Overcome with joy, all she could manage was a shy, stammered "why yes." Sasuke gave a small nod. "Good, I'll see you later then." He returned to where Naruto was waiting, only to find his teammate grinning ear to ear. Sasuke tried to keep a straight face, but a faint smirk slipped out. Naruto laughed and said, "No way, Sasuke. Did you really just ask a girl out?" Sasuke replied flatly, "So what if I did?" Naruto teased, "It's great. Honestly, I thought for a moment you swung the other way." Sasuke snapped, "Shut the hell up." Naruto smirked wider. "Yep, sounds like more proof." "Go to hell," Sasuke shot back. Naruto only chuckled, still smiling ahead. 10 minutes later after the break, Naruto, Lee, and Sasuke stepped toward the arena. Kakashi stood in front of them and said, "All right, here's the match order." He revealed the chart, Naruto versus Lee, and the winner would face Sasuke. Kakashi continued, "Naruto, Lee, whoever wins won't get any rest. We've delayed long enough." The other Jounin looked shocked. They had allowed Kakashi to design the brackets, but this decision crossed the line. Kurenai was the first to protest. "Kakashi, what are you doing?" "I'm arranging the fights," Kakashi answered in a matter-of-fact tone. Asuma frowned, stepping forward. "No, you're stacking the deck. You've been handing Sasuke the easy path from the start." Guy joined in. "They're correct. You gave Naruto the hardest route based on his academy record. Sasuke's fights were set against opponents who would naturally fold. Shino's bugs burn, so you knew he couldn't last against fire. And you expected Ino to hold back since she favors Sasuke." Naruto listened as the Jounin sided with him, then decided to speak up for himself. "Meanwhile, I was thrown against Kiba, who's much faster than you gave me credit for, and Neji, who's a close-range expert you thought I couldn't handle. You've been trying to make me fail while boosting Sasuke. The only reason I'm still here is because you don't know what I'm actually capable of." Lee walked over and nodded. "I agree with my youthful rival and the others. Kakashi-san, you've clearly shown favoritism." Kakashi cursed in his mind. "Damn, they caught on. I shouldn't have added the no-rest rule. But wait, there's still a way out." Out loud, he said, "Then what do you suggest?" "We've got 3 left, but we can only have 2 in the finals." Sasuke, who had been listening silently, decided to speak up. "Who said the finals need to be between 2 people? Who said we're even in the semifinals?" Kakashi narrowed his eye. "What are you suggesting, Sasuke?" Naruto already caught on and grinned like a fool. Lee noticed and thought, "Looks like something interesting is coming." Sasuke smirked. "A 3-way free-for-all. Winner takes it. What do you say, Naruto?" Naruto's grin became a sly smirk. "I'm all for it. How about you, Lee?" Lee nodded. "I accept." "Then it's decided. A free-for-all," Sasuke declared. Kakashi said, "Fine, a 3-way match." Inside, though, he was grinning. "Perfect. Sasuke will crush them both, and my plan will succeed. Better to shatter Naruto's spirit when he's so close to victory." The 3 walked to the ring and prepared themselves. "Hajime!" Kakashi shouted, leaping back as the genin squared off. For 20 seconds, the 3 simply stared at one another. Naruto finally lost patience and lunged at Sasuke. Sasuke instantly activated his Sharingan, stunning the spectators. Sakura's thoughts Sasuke-kun used the Sharingan. He's so amazing. He'll destroy that loser Lee and that monster Naruto. Why won't that demon just die already? Then it would just be me and Sasuke-kun forever. He keeps getting in the way of our destiny. I should have gotten rid of him years ago. Chaya, yeah, she's unhinged. Kakashi's thoughts, so Sasuke awakened the Sharingan. Perfect. Now I can finally start showing him the Kappa techniques and train him to replicate them. Maybe he's ready for the Chidori. This match is as good as over. Others' thoughts. Kiba, Shino, Choji, Neji, Hinata, Shikamaru, Tent, and Asuma, Kurenai, Guy, Ino. The Sharingan troublesome, thought Shikamaru. His eyes changed, a bloodline ability. This will be intense, Kiba noted. So the Sharingan emerges. This battle just escalated, thought Asuma and Kurenai. No matter, Lee's youthful speed will outrun any eyes, Guy exclaimed in his mind. Sharingan or not, Lee's speed without weights will surpass him easily, thought Tenten. The Sharingan awakened. Still, Uzumaki hinted his abilities remain hidden, even his teacher doesn't know. And Lee is a complete unknown. Predicting the victor is impossible, Shino analyzed. I believe Naruto will overcome him, Hinata thought shyly. This will be intriguing, thought Neji. Bloodline or not, it's useless if he can't wield it properly, Choji reasoned. Sasuke-kun with Sharingan, how will this end? Ino wondered. The fight begins, with Sasuke's Sharingan allowing him to counter Naruto, Lee joining in, and all 3 clashing with jutsu and blows, each trying to overpower the other. Naruto gathered energy in his left palm and hurled it toward Sasuke, releasing a blazing Kai beam. Caught off guard, Sasuke was launched backward from the force. Naruto prepared to rush in after him, but before he could, a sudden attack intercepted him. Lee struck from behind with a leaf whirlwind aimed at Naruto's head. Stumbling to his knees from the blow, Naruto watched Lee sprint after Sasuke. Instead of frowning, Naruto smirked. He shifted his stance, cupping both hands by his right side, building up massive energy. With a loud shout, Kamehameha, he released the destructive wave. The energy beam soared forward, colliding with Lee before continuing towards Sasuke, who was just rising to his feet. Both Lee and the energy crash-landed near Sasuke, erupting into an explosion that shook the ground. Naruto rose quickly and sprinted toward the impact zone, ignoring the stunned reactions of those nearby. As he ran through the smoke, Naruto formed hand signs and called out, "Wind style, great breakthrough." A violent gust swept away the lingering smoke, revealing Sasuke and Lee. Both were still standing, though clearly battered, clothes ripped, skin bruised, burns across their bodies. Lee darted forward, moving so quickly Naruto couldn't track him, and struck with a flurry. A left punch to the chest, a right, then a high kick under Naruto's chin. Pulling back both fists, Lee smashed them into Naruto's torso, sending him flying through the air. While spinning midair, Naruto fired off a string of Kai blasts. Using his Kai, he steadied himself and glided down before charging straight back at Lee. Lee prepared to meet him head-on, but Sasuke appeared behind him, launching a blazing grand fireball against his back. Naruto added a punch to Lee's chest, then vaulted over both opponents and unleashed a larger Kai sphere. The blast detonated, sending both Lee and Sasuke tumbling across the field as Naruto landed gracefully. Sasuke quickly recovered and strung together seals. "Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu," he yelled, spitting out a volley of fireballs. Naruto narrowly evaded the last 3 shots, but before he could counter, Lee zipped beneath Sasuke, driving a kick that flung him into the sky. Following right after, Lee spun into Sasuke with a leaf whirlwind to his side, making Sasuke scream in pain before crashing back down. To finish, Lee inhaled and unleashed wind style. Great breakthrough midair, forcing Sasuke harder into the ground, knocking him unconscious. Guy counted him out, officially declaring Sasuke eliminated. Now only Naruto and Lee remained. Naruto, having witnessed Lee's display of strength, realized defeat was inevitable unless he escalated. Closing his eyes, he dug deeper within, a pale aura sparking around him as gusts swirled violently. Naruto ignored the chaos, focusing instead on reaching the threshold of Super Saiyan. The last time, he'd only touched its surface. This time, he vowed to break through. A low growl rumbled from his throat, growing louder as the aura intensified, shifting from bright white into deep blue. The energy became denser, heavier, and Naruto felt incredible power surging through his body. He was so close to breaking the barrier, until Lee interfered. Sensing Naruto's surge, Lee acted quickly. He dashed in, delivering another leaf whirlwind directly to Naruto's face, disrupting the transformation. Pain knocked Naruto backward, though he steadied himself before hitting the ground. "TCH," Naruto cursed, realizing Lee's tenacity. Not only was Lee tough, but he was also still wearing training weights, proof of his insane dedication. With his mastery of the 8 gates, Naruto knew that without reaching Super Saiyan, victory was impossible. But Naruto refused to quit. Rising again, he launched at Lee, fists flying. Lee effortlessly weaved through his strikes. Frustrated, Naruto fired rapid Kai blasts in every direction. A handful landed, but Lee remained mostly unharmed. Focusing his Kai, Naruto delivered a left hook that connected with Lee's face. However, Lee spun with the momentum, slamming a heel across Naruto's jaw. Following up, Lee dove forward, landing a flying kick that sent Naruto hurling back. Right before hitting the ground, Naruto corrected his stance midair. Grinding his teeth, Naruto thought, "Damn it. He knows I'm trying to ascend, so he won't give me the chance. He's too fast, too relentless. What can I do? None of my techniques will. Wait, that's it. Why didn't I think of this earlier?" Standing tall, Naruto hurled a Kai shot. Lee evaded and charged straight for him. Naruto waited until Lee closed the distance, then suddenly shot upward. The solution was simple: take the fight to the sky. While airborne, Lee's taijutsu meant nothing, and Naruto could safely transform. Rising about 20 feet into the air, Naruto steadied himself and poured everything into his energy. The winds howled, his aura darkened into blue, muscles bulged, and storm clouds gathered overhead. Thunder rolled, lightning crackled, painting the sky with fury reminiscent of the Wave Ark's bridge battle. With Lee cursed under his breath, whipping out kunai. He remembered Naruto's incomplete transformation the night before, and even then, the raw power was frightening. If Naruto reached full Super Saiyan, Lee knew it would be over. He hurled kunai after kunai, but the turbulent winds knocked them off course. Realizing weapons wouldn't work, Lee concluded there was only one option left: opening the gates. With the audience, everyone below stared in awe. The sheer force, radiating from Naruto, shook them to the core. Sakura and Kakashi especially recognized it. They had seen flashes of this power at the Wave Bridge. The golden hair, teal eyes, overwhelming aura, it was unmistakable. Kakashi's thoughts turned sharp. If Naruto can reach this power, perhaps I can mimic it with my Sharingan and then pass it on to Sasuke. With that, Sasuke could finally avenge his clan. Pulling his headband up, Kakashi revealed the Sharingan eye, analyzing Naruto closely. Hinata whispered in disbelief, How is he able to fly like that?" Sasuke, watching from behind her, replied coolly, "It's part of his family's hidden technique, bending the laws of gravity itself." Shino adjusted his glasses. "A highly practical ability, its potential is astounding." Sasuke smirked, pretending confidence. "Naruto said he'd show me someday. Guess I'll just have to wait until he recovers from this battle." But internally, Sasuke admitted the truth. "This fight is beyond me. Naruto and Lee, they've trained harder than anyone gave them credit for." While others mocked them, they turned scorn into fuel, rising above everyone. "Today proves one of them stands at the top of our generation. And me, I've been living off my clan's name instead of effort. But that changes now. Naruto, Lee, watch your backs. I'll surpass you both eventually." With Naruto high above, Naruto roared as his energy spiked further. He could sense the thin wall separating him from true Super Saiyan breaking apart. His guttural growl rose into a powerful scream, echoing across the field. The barrier shattered. His hair spiked upward, shifting into radiant gold. His eyes flared turquoise, and his aura ignited into a blazing golden flame. The sky itself trembled. Naruto had finally broken through. Super Saiyan was his. With Lee after Lee's kunai had no effect, he crossed his arms before his face, focusing his energy. He realized that opening the 8 gates was his only path to victory. Glancing at Naruto, who was nearly done with his transformation, Lee took a deep breath. He pushed his body to its limits and shouted, "First gate, Kaiman, gate of opening, release." 3. A rush of raw energy exploded through him. He finished just as Naruto completed his own power-up. Lee shifted into a combat stance, prepared for the true fight to begin. Once Naruto's transformation was complete, he glared down at Lee. Noticing Lee had unleashed his first gate, Naruto smirked and instantly vanished. His speed was so intense that only Guy, used to such velocity, and Kakashi with his Sharingan could follow him. Naruto appeared behind Lee, aiming a sharp elbow toward his neck. But Lee caught him in time, ducking low and countering with an elbow strike to Naruto's chest. Naruto absorbed the hit without flinching and drove his knee into Lee's face. The blow sent Lee airborne, but he twisted midair to recover. With a fiery glare, Lee charged Naruto, his speed enhanced by the gate. He launched into a leaf whirlwind, but Naruto blocked with his right arm. Countering, Naruto struck Lee's stomach with his left hand, sending him flying, though Lee recovered quickly and vanished from sight. Suddenly, Naruto punched into empty air, only to grimace as Lee materialized in front of him, slamming his fist into Naruto's gut. Naruto retaliated with a sweeping kick that caught Lee in the head, sending him hurtling away. Lee flipped midair, regaining balance, and thought grimly, "I must finish this quickly or I'll burn out." Lee blurred again, going for a high kick to Naruto's right cheek. Naruto blocked, forcing Lee to disappear once more, attempting a leg sweep from behind. Naruto leapt over it, but Lee reappeared directly beneath him, unleashing a massive kick that launched Naruto skyward. The impact was so great Naruto couldn't stop what followed. Lee jumped and appeared behind him, unraveling the bandages around his arms. Wrapping them tightly around both himself and Naruto, he began spinning rapidly. To the audience, they looked like a massive white cocoon. Spiraling downward at immense speed, Lee roared, "Primary Lotus!" 4 and slammed Naruto into the ground. Releasing the binds, Lee leapt back. Naruto staggered from the brutal combo. First the bone-crushing kick, then being bound midair, and finally being driven into the earth, it nearly knocked him out. If not for his heightened power, he would have collapsed. Shaking his head, he stood to face Lee again. Lee, determined, crossed his arms once more and declared, "Second gate, third gate, Cumin, Saiyan, gate of rest, gate of life, release." 3. His power skyrocketed, skin glowing red, muscles swelling, emerald aura blazing. Naruto narrowed his eyes, realizing the fight had only escalated. He powered up further in response. Both rushed forward, fists colliding in the center. Lee's left fist clashed with Naruto's right, and then both struck with their free hands, locked in a deadlock as they gripped each other's fists, testing pure strength. For nearly a minute, neither gained ground. Finally, Lee snapped his head forward, headbutting Naruto, sending him skidding back. Naruto steadied himself and began launching Kai blasts. Lee weaved through them effortlessly, closing in until only 10 feet separated them. He dashed forward, colliding with Naruto as both landed punches to each other's faces. They recoiled but recovered instantly, charging again. Lee spun into a roundhouse aimed at Naruto's head, blocked by Naruto's forearm. Naruto struck back with a punch to Lee's chest, but Lee bent backward, flipping away, and tried to kick Naruto's chin mid-spin. Naruto leaned back, narrowly dodging. Naruto attempted a counterkick midair, but Lee braced on his hands and sprang upward, booting at Naruto's face, missed by a fraction. The exchange became a furious rhythm of strike and evasion. Both fighters clashing at lightning speeds with chakra and Kai reinforcing every blow. Eventually, Lee landed a punch to Naruto's stomach. Naruto kneed him in the face, then elbowed his sternum. Lee recovered quickly, countering with a kick to Naruto's face. Both pressed forward, trading blows without defending, intent only on dealing maximum damage. Their attacks cracked the ground beneath them, each one amplified with chakra and Kai. Lee kicked Naruto skyward. Naruto stabilized midair and began forming hand seals. Lee also raced through his own. Naruto cried out, "Lightning style, false darkness." As Lee shouted, "Wind style, great breakthrough," the elemental attacks clashed midair. Wind overpowered lightning, blasting through Naruto's jutsu and hurling him higher. Lee leapt, smashing a punch into Naruto's chest and sending them both plummeting back down, crashing into the ground simultaneously. Both were battered, gasping for breath. Naruto's lip bled, dirt streaked across his torn clothing, his eyes swollen, ribs aching, bones strained from blocking blows. His leg throbbed from overkicking, and he felt near his limit. Lee was equally ravaged. Burns, dirt stains, a nearly fractured shin, throbbing forearms, cuts in his mouth coating his teeth in blood, and a possible skull fracture from Naruto's earlier strike. He too was barely standing. They locked eyes, both knowing they had only one move left. Naruto spoke hoarsely, "One final attack, let's finish this, Lee." Lee smirked through the pain. "You're on, my eternal rival." Naruto powered up with every ounce of strength left. Lee crossed his arms, closing his eyes. "I've never gone this far, but I must prove I'm not weak, even if it costs me my life." He roared, "Fourth gate, shaman, gate of pain, release." 3. His aura exploded once again, mightier than before. The two stared each other down, seconds stretching like eternity. From the sidelines, Sasuke watched nervously, sweat dripping from his face. As a single bead of sweat hit the ground, both fighters launched forward. Naruto's right fist cocked back, Lee's left fist primed. Their fists glowed with blinding yellow and green energy, smoke rising from their hands as they collided. The clash seemed frozen in time. Their fists met, power surging, auras colliding violently. Light burst forth from the impact, expanding until it engulfed both. The brightness forced everyone to shield their eyes. Even Kakashi covered his Sharingan. When the light finally faded, Naruto and Lee lay sprawled 20 feet apart, unconscious but alive. Guy rushed to them, checking pulses. Relieved, he stood and announced, "Both are down." "It's a tie," shock rippled through the spectators. To fight at such intensity, only for it to end without a victor, everyone was stunned. Then, slow clapping echoed, Sasuke stepped forward, applauding. Sakura joined in, then Ino, until the crowd erupted in cheers for both warriors. After the celebration, Guy said, "All right, let's get them to the hospital for a well-deserved rest." Vegeta stepped up. "I'll help carry them." "Guy, lend me a hand." "Of course," Guy replied, lifting Naruto as Vegeta took Lee. Together they ran off, unfortunately in the wrong direction from the hospital. Sakura called out, "Wait, shouldn't Sasuke-kun be declared the winner? He's still conscious while they're not." Shikamaru sighed. Troublesome. Sakura, Sasuke was already knocked out earlier. He only woke up midway, and Gai-sensei counted him out after 10, automatic disqualification. "Now if you'll excuse me, I'm heading home." With that, Shikamaru walked away, Choji trailing him. Ino followed as well, but before leaving, Sasuke slipped her a note. "Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Our date." Kakashi was frustrated. His plan to get Naruto to quit the ninja program had completely failed. Resigned, he decided to cut his losses and rethink his approach. Soon enough, the rest of the people drifted away. At that moment, if someone had glanced ahead, they would have noticed a tall figure soaring through the air, roughly 6 feet tall. He wore a sky-blue gi with yellow pants, a white belt, and red wristbands. His black boots had white laces, his hair was styled oddly, and his eyes were dark. A red staff rested on his back. He muttered, "The Saiyan blood within Naruto is incredibly strong, almost comparable to Gohan's. Watching him grow should be interesting, don't you think, Minato?" A voice responded softly from somewhere else. "Yes, though I regret not being there to witness it." The mysterious man lowered his gaze, filled with sorrow. "I understand, Minato. Watching them mature but being unable to participate, I've felt that same pain. When I fell to Raditz, when I died facing Cell leaving Goten fatherless, and even when I departed with the eternal dragon, leaving everyone behind. But one must learn from the past," Minato replied solemnly. "True enough." With that, the figure rose into the sky, pressed his fingers to his forehead, and vanished in a blink. 1 week later, "Come on, Lee, you've got this." "Yeah. Just one more." After waking from their brief rest, Vegeta began giving Naruto and Lee an intensive training session. He discovered Naruto's training weights and instructed him to wear them at all times, except for bathing or sleeping. Meanwhile, Lee received lessons on Kai, spending hours in the gravity room practicing his Kai blasts and taijutsu. Being trained by someone who wielded Kai constantly, Lee's progress was rapid. Soon he could fly and launch energy attacks. Within 6 days post-tournament, he mastered the Buster Cannon, a signature technique inherited from his ancestor, Trunks. Lee staggered to his feet, still shaky, facing the last training robot. From 20 down to 1, it remained. He concentrated, planting his feet, arms positioned slightly above his waist. Stretching them backward, palms forward, he loaded his energy and thrust them forward, shouting, "Buster Cannon." A massive blue sphere of energy shot forward, striking the robot squarely. Its armor cracked, yet it retaliated with Kai blasts. Lee's eyes narrowed in determination. He charged, firing his own blasts. Approaching 5 feet away, he leapt, delivering a left flying side kick, twisting to strike with his right. Landing, he unleashed another Buster Cannon, ensuring the robot was neutralized. He returned to where Naruto and Vegeta waited. Using a Senzu bean from his father, he replenished his strength. Since the tournament, nearly all their time had been spent in rigorous training, preparing Lee for the upcoming Chunin exams in 2 months. Part of the training also involved Lee learning to stop copying Guy. Lee had idolized Guy because he had been like a father figure, always there when his real father wasn't. After training with Vegeta, Lee realized he needed his own path. Guy, understanding his reasoning, agreed. The mark of a good teacher is when a student emulates them. The mark of a great teacher is when a student forges their own way. With that resolve, Lee let his hair grow naturally, stopped styling it, trimmed his eyebrows, and discarded his spandex uniform. Despite Lee's inner turmoil, the village erupted in celebration, singing, "Can you feel a brand new day" from the Wiz? Lee grabbed a towel from a stack beside Naruto and wiped off his sweat. His father approached. "Lee, I'm going to teach you another technique, the Gallic Gun. It's a signature move of the Saiyan royal family. It has lightning-like properties, can short-circuit electronics, and its power increases when it contacts water. Watch carefully." Vegeta positioned himself in the gravity room. His right leg stepped back, hips rotated so his chest faced right, hands 10 inches apart near his chest. Energy built up, radiating a deep royal purple. Lee's eyes widened at the sheer power. He thought, "That's more than I can muster altogether, and it doesn't even seem to strain him. I have a long way to go if I want to match my father or use his moves so effortlessly." The energy crackled faintly like lightning. Vegeta thrust his hands forward. Gallic gun, fire! The blast struck the wall rapidly. He held it a moment so Lee could observe, then ended it. Approaching the two boys, he said, "That's the technique, Lee. Start practicing it while I teach Naruto something new." Lee moved into the GR and got to work. Vegeta turned to Naruto. "This next move is tricky. It belonged to Goku's old friend Yamcha." "Oh, the Wolf Fang Fist combo?" Naruto asked, recalling the history of the old Earth warriors he had studied. "No, it's the Spirit Ball attack. Watch closely." Vegeta crouched slightly, spread his legs, lifted his right arm in a backward L, palm upward, grasped his wrist with the left hand, and concentrated energy into a ball above his palm. Balancing on his right leg, he pulled back the spirit ball and hurled it forward. Near the wall, he moved his fingers, guiding the ball in twists and turns. Finally, he clenched and released his hands, detonating the ball instantly. Naruto stared in awe. He had heard of this technique but never seen it executed. Vegeta began teaching him, though it took Naruto hours to master the maneuver. When he finally succeeded, Lee and Vegeta observed him. "Finally. 3.5 hours for that move," Lee remarked. Naruto shrugged. "It was tricky, sorry for the wait." Lee smiled. "We're lucky it's an off day, no missions today." Vegeta said, "Now that you've mastered your attacks, it's time for full training." The boys groaned. Vegeta led them to a room with 400 robots. They had to fight through the swarm. Even with Naruto's Super Saiyan form and Kyuubi chakra, and Lee's 8 gates technique, the sheer number of robots meant the boys would be exhausted before victory. Vegeta smirked, adjusting the robot settings. Speed, 30 strength, 25 endurance, 29 stamina, 29 Kai blasts, 25 combat skill, 25 he set a 1-minute timer. "Good luck," he said, laughing darkly. Lee and Naruto muttered, "Bastard." They braced as the robots emerged. Lee said, "Let's handle this fast, Naruto. I want to win today." "I agree, let's go," Naruto shouted, jumping and floating briefly. Lee guarded him until his Super Saiyan transformation finished. He charged the first 2 robots with a shout, "Leaf Hurricane," knocking them back, drawing attention to himself. Naruto's transformation drew the remaining robots' fire. Lee jumped into the fray, striking and dodging debris. After landing beside Naruto, he helped form a large protective shield. Robots fired at it, but Naruto held firm. Lee focused, chanting, "Kaiman, Cumin, Saiman, Shaman. Gates of opening, rest, life, pain open." His power surged, his skin flushed red, pupils disappeared, and his purple hair bristled. He looked to Naruto. "Ready?" Naruto grinned and released his shield. "Let's do this," he shouted. Back to back, Naruto and Lee faced the oncoming robots, Kai blasts streaking toward them. They blocked the attacks, then suddenly positioned their hands behind their backs. Naruto cupped his hands together while Lee held his at his sides. Energy surged through Naruto as he pushed his hands forward, yelling, "Kamehameha!" At the same moment, Lee thrust his hands out with a cry of Buster Cannon. The blasts tore through the air as both leaped away to dodge the debris. Naruto sighed while airborne. Naruto formed hand seals and roared, "Fire style, Grand Fireball Jutsu." A massive fireball struck the robots, scorching many. Landing, Naruto unleashed a barrage of Kai blasts. Yet some robots pressed forward, ignoring the attacks. One slammed into his chest, another swept his legs, knocking him down. Surrounded, he fought as blasts rained down from all sides. Lee's side, Lee hit the ground, immediately performing hand seals. "Wind style, great breakthrough," he shouted, scattering some of the robots. Launching at incredible speed, he pummeled them with fists and kicks. Despite his fury, a few attacks still landed, sending him crashing into a wall. He rose only to be swarmed again. Naruto, after being battered for several seconds, Naruto regained focus and emitted a wave of Kai. Charging the nearest robot, he struck with a left punch, followed by a right heel kick and another left punch, a devastating 3-hit combo that shattered its armor. He then leapt to the next, striking its face, and continued hopping from target to target. Each attack, charged with Kai, smashed through armor, weakening the robotic army steadily. Lee was struggling under the robot's assault. Spotting an opening, he grabbed a robot's kicking leg and slammed it into others, then surged forward again, barreling like a drill and tearing through his enemies. Together, Naruto and Lee fought their way to the center, confronting the remaining army. They had destroyed 240 robots but faced 160 still functional. Naruto groaned. We're screwed, what now? Lee paused. Wait, don't you know a water jutsu and lightning jutsu? Yeah, but oh. Right, Naruto said. Lee asked, ready, Naruto? Yeah, we have to give everything we've got. Naruto began forming hand seals while Lee soared into the air. Naruto yelled, water style. Water bullet jutsu, sending a torrent into the sky toward Lee. Lee performed hand seals and called, wind style, great breakthrough. The wind redirected the water, drenching the robots below. Side by side, they charged their ultimate attacks. Lee positioned his hands a foot apart before his chest, while Naruto completed his seals. With a yell, Lee released, Gallic gun fire, and Naruto shouted, lightning style. False darkness? The attacks collided midair. The false darkness entity twisted around the Gallic gun beam before both strikes slammed into the ground, obliterating numerous robots. Exhausted, Naruto and Lee touched down. Lee returned to normal as Naruto's eyes flickered between greenish blue and black, his hair only slightly elevated in his residual Super Saiyan form. The battlefield, once a robot junkyard, was filled with smoking wreckage. Yet 25 robots, battered and dented, still stood. Naruto and Lee muttered together, damn it. The remaining robots immediately launched assaults. Naruto and Lee dodged but were overwhelmed, tumbling to the ground. Lee gasped, Naruto, I can't hold on, you have to finish this. Placing both hands on Naruto's shoulders, Lee transferred the last of his energy. What? Naruto began, feeling a surge of power. Lee interrupted, I'm giving you everything I've got. The gates are closed to me. It's on you, Naruto, take this fight home. Lee collapsed. Go before I run dry again. Naruto nodded, his aura flaring. Charging forward, he delivered a series of devastating punches and kicks, Kai blasts from his hands obliterating robots in groups. Phasing in and out, he appeared behind enemies, striking with deadly precision. With 3 robots remaining, Naruto unleashed, Cyclone Buster. Multiple Kai blasts rained down. Then, forming a massive Kai sphere, he hovered above the last robots and released it with a grin. Bye-bye. The blast wiped out the final threats. Breathing heavily, Naruto deactivated his Super Saiyan state. Vegeta approached, tossing a Senzu bean onto Naruto's chest, which he devoured effortlessly. Turning to Lee, Vegeta praised, You made our ancestors proud, handing him a Senzu bean as well. They cleaned up at the towel rack before heading out of the lab. Outside, they waited for Kakashi, grabbed a bite in Konoha, and split Lee's mission earnings with Tenten and Neji. Later, Naruto and Lee returned to separate training areas, while Vegeta completed village tasks and passed rigorous tests in ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu, stealth, and leadership. 10 minutes before Kakashi arrived, Naruto reached the bridge. Sakura huffed angrily, Why don't you just drop dead already? Some mysteries of life, like why you don't have any boobs, Naruto replied, unfazed. Sasuke chuckled from above. Sakura lunged, but Naruto dodged, flipped her, and pinned her to the ground. You know, I could do worse from here, but I'm not into guys, he said, making Sasuke laugh again. Sakura struck again. Naruto countered with a flurry of uppercuts and kicks. Try again, and you won't see your 15th birthday, he warned. Sakura cried out for Sasuke, but he refused to intervene, letting her collapse from pain. Kakashi arrived 5 minutes later. After sparing Naruto's suspension, he announced a C-ranked mission for the next day. Travel to a nearby village to deal with bandits, a dangerous assignment where death was a real risk. Naruto shrugged. Who cares? You fought one thug, you faced them all. This'll be a piece of cake. Kakashi replied, That kind of arrogance might get you killed, Naruto. Naruto shot him a cold glare. You hoping it would, you one-eyed weirdo. Kakashi frowned. Insulting me probably isn't the smartest move. Naruto's tone stayed icy. Neither was trying to impale me with your lightning blade back in the wave. I'd say we both made some questionable choices. By the way, I haven't told the Sandame about your stunt. Imagine the chaos that would cause. Kakashi Headache, top-tier jounin, using his strongest jutsu on a student for no reason, intending to kill, but missing. If word got out, your reputation and career would be ruined. Kakashi's eyes narrowed. You're really pushing it, Naruto. You don't want to see me angry. Naruto smirked. I've always been on your bad side. And besides, I can beat you. Sasuke, who had been quietly listening, said, and I'd back him up, Kakashi. Kakashi waved him off. Fine, be at the north gate on time. With that, he vanished using Shunshin. Sasuke muttered, whatever. Forget him, Naruto chuckled. Yeah, let's go, I've got to teach you how to fly. Ignoring Sakura still unconscious on the bridge, they departed. A passing villager would find her 3 hours later. Sasuke proved to be a natural. After just a short while, he was performing flips, mid-air catches, and maneuvers Naruto had taken days to perfect. They then moved on to shooting Kai blasts while flying, gradually increasing both accuracy and speed. They trained low to avoid being seen. Once practice ended, they went separate ways. Sasuke headed home, Naruto to Lee's place. There, he found Lee and his father watching TV. He explained Kyubai's idea to enhance their Saiyan blood. At first, they were stunned, but after Naruto detailed the reasoning, they agreed. Being stronger would help against Kurumi's forces, especially after Vegeta called Teio a mere grunt in Kurumi's army. They had to enter Naruto's mind first. Sitting in meditation with hands clasped, they focused and succeeded in entering. Approaching the familiar tree, Kyubai said, finally telling them my plan. Took you a week to ask. That's why the Saiyan race would have been doomed if I left it to you. Naruto snapped. Yeah, enough. Lee asked. Naruto, is that? Yep, Naruto said. The Kyuubi no Kitsune. In human form. Kyuubi waved it off. Let's skip the pleasantries. You want to boost your Saiyan blood, right? Both nodded. Good, with my power I can multiply your strength 16 times. Lee becomes a half Saiyan like you and Vegeta turns full Saiyan. Ready? Lee nodded. Vegeta hesitated. How do we know we can trust you? What if you betray us? Kyuubi exhaled. Fair point, here's the deal. The seal links me to Naruto's soul. He's mortal, so when he dies, I die too. That's why I stopped resisting the seal and chose to have some fun instead. You and Goku woke me up, entertainment. That's why I've let you live. Vegeta still glared. I'm not convinced. Demon promises are binding, Kyuubi replied. Break one, you die. I give you my word I won't harm you or your son. And if you doubt me, Naruto can tighten the seal at any time. Vegeta pondered for a moment, then finally sighed. Fine. Good, Kyuubi said. Naruto, release the seal more. You remember the spot. Naruto nodded. Hurry, I want to sleep. Naruto paused. Wait, why can't they come with me? Kyuubi said. It's your mind. They can't leave this clearing. Neither can I. Only you can go. Naruto launched into the sky at breakneck speed, turning Super Saiyan. A massive brown and cream bird with a red and gold head kept pace, a Pidgeot capable of Mach 2. He arrived at the mountain where he first loosened the seal. Rayquaza was still guarding the console, with Salamence nearby. Rayquaza recognized him and growled. Naruto assumed a fighting stance, but 3 strange growls came from different directions. Turning, he saw 3 massive birds perched on the mountainside. The first, ice blue with a 10-foot wingspan, 3 eyebrow-like feathers, white underbelly and dark blue tail, Articuno, the ice bird. The second, yellow with black markings, spiky feathers like lightning, long orange beak and legs, Zapdos, the lightning bird. The third, flame-colored, phoenix-like, elaborate head crest, Moltres, the fire bird. Naruto thought, this won't end well. Rayquaza fired a misty blue energy ball. Naruto charged, aiming for the tail, but Zapdos paralyzed him with Thunderbolt, Articuno added Ice Beam, and Moltres unleashed Flamethrower. The Salamence joined with fiery blasts. Rayquaza fired again. Grimacing, Naruto fired 3 Kai blasts at the Salamence, beams from both hands at Articuno and Zapdos, then used Afterimage to evade. He reappeared above, formed 2 shadow clones. The original shouted, Fire Style Burning Ash Accumulation, clone left, Wind Style Great Breakthrough, clone right, Lightning Style, False Darkness. The black cloud of burning ash descended, aided by Great Breakthrough. The monsters, noticing his disappearance, rushed, triggering Naruto to detonate the cloud. The false darkness empowered Zapdos unexpectedly. Moltres was strengthened. Moltres glowed red, Zapdos yellow, attacking simultaneously. Naruto narrowly dodged, blocking a lightning strike. Smoke and burning scent filled the air. He formed a small Kai ball, then yelled, Spirit Ball Attack! Deflecting Rayquaza's energy, he collided with it, sending it flying. He charged, firing Kai blasts midair, avoiding all attacks. The monsters pursued. Naruto fired Kai blasts, they rolled to evade. Zapdos launched Thundershock, missed. Naruto's blasts failed against its green aura. Frustrated, he charged Zapdos, punched, kicked, and pummeled it with Kai blasts, finally sending it crashing down. Naruto thought he had gotten away, but suddenly Articuno struck from behind with a blast of icy energy. Naruto spun around to face it, only to be frozen midair. He plummeted like a stone toward the ground. Moltres, seeing the situation, launched a small fiery orb at him. Naruto thought, oh no. The sphere struck him and erupted into a massive blaze. The ice melted instantly, and Naruto tumbled downward. He managed to steady himself before hitting the earth. With renewed determination, he charged at the remaining 2 legendary birds. Salamence fired flamethrowers at him, but Naruto powered through, striking all 3 of them. He refocused on Articuno, whose wings now glowed icy blue as a blizzard began around it. Naruto flared his aura and plunged into the storm. He gathered a concentrated energy attack in his right hand, swept it across his chest to his left shoulder, and unleashed it with a shout, "Power Blitz!" The attack expanded mid-flight and smashed into Articuno, sending it tumbling out of the sky. Naruto shot past Moltres, who, now glowing red, pursued him relentlessly. Feeling the heat, Naruto sensed Moltres' incoming attack. He charged energy in his hands and chanted, "Kamehameha!" He spun midair, firing a blast that hit Moltres squarely, sending it flying back. Not paying attention to his trajectory, he yelled, "Yes!" Flipping awkwardly, he barely avoided crashing into the ground. Looking around, he saw all the creatures unconscious, until he heard Rayquaza groan. Rayquaza was rising, so Naruto loaded a massive Kai blast and struck him down, knocking him out. Approaching the console, Naruto manipulated it so Kyuubi could release more energy. Returning to the clearing, Naruto found Kyuubi, Lee, and Vegeta waiting. Landing, he said, "I did it." Kyuubi, ignoring Naruto's injuries, commanded, "All right, one of you step forward." Vegeta approached. Kyuubi placed his hands on Vegeta's head and warned, "This will hurt badly," before beginning the procedure. Moments later, Vegeta was released. The same was done to Lee. Kyuubi then turned to Naruto and said, "I'm done. You better reseal it before Ho-Oh arrives. You won't survive that fight." Naruto nodded and dashed to the seal, locking it fully before fading from consciousness. He awoke in his body, seeing Lee and Vegeta unconscious. As he headed home, 4 ANBU appeared, their masks stark white with a NE on their foreheads. "Naruto Uzumaki, you're coming with us," they said. Naruto immediately sensed danger. "Not happening," he replied, trying to move past them, but they encircled him. "We're not asking. Come with us or face Danzo-sama's wrath," they warned. Naruto smirked. "Fools!" Power flared from his body, sending the root ANBU flying. Reappearing in front of one, he punched a Kai-charged blow into his chest, shattering him entirely. He vanished and struck another from behind, kicking him out cold. Using afterimages, Naruto evaded the next attacker, then delivered a crushing Kai heel to another's face. The last ANBU tried to flee, but Naruto caught him, powered up, and launched himself toward the Hokage Tower. Landing, he opened the main office doors. "Old man, we have a problem," Naruto said. Sarutobi stood, alarmed. "What is it, Naruto?" Naruto dumped the captured ANBU on his desk. "I don't think all ANBU are following your orders." Surprised, Sarutobi assessed the situation, noting Naruto's Super Saiyan form. "How did you get him?" Naruto explained. "He and 3 others attacked me leaving Lee and Vegeta's house, claiming Danzo-sama sent them." The Hokage chuckled briefly, then grew serious. "Anything else?" "No, you'll need specialists for interrogation," Naruto replied. Sarutobi nodded. "I can arrange that. More witnesses will strengthen the case." "Understood," Naruto said, rushing back to where the fight occurred. He created 4 shadow clones, surrounding the unconscious ANBU. Waiting above, he was ready for any escape attempt. When the ANBU awoke and saw one missing, one said, "We must report this to Danzo-sama." The clones began charging energy, signaling readiness. "Think again," one clone said as Naruto appeared from an alley smirking. "Just one of you? Last time you got lucky," the ANBU sneered. "No luck this time," the clone replied. Energy blasts hit them midair, knocking them out. Naruto collected them with 2 clones' help, flying back to the Hokage's office. "Here are the rest," he said, dropping them on Sarutobi's desk. "Thanks, Naruto. This proves Danzo's scheming. You should go home." A high C-rank mission awaits, and it'll get tough. I trust you to handle your team if needed, Sarutobi instructed. You can count on me, old man, Naruto said. If things go south and your team refuses to retreat, come back alone. I'll send support, Sarutobi added. Got it. I'd start thinking you don't trust me otherwise, Naruto joked. It's not you, it's Kakashi, Sarutobi replied. I know, time for bed, see you, Naruto said, rushing home. Seeing his house ransacked again, he shrugged. I'll clean later, and went to bed in his black undershirt and boxers. Next day, Naruto woke early the next morning at 6 a.m., feeling refreshed and ready for training. He flew straight to the underground lab and began his routine. It dawned on him that he hadn't adjusted the gravity on the machine yet. He set it to 3x and promptly fell flat on his back. 10 minutes later, he got up and resumed his exercises. Calling over some of the robots, he had them fire at him randomly to sharpen his reflexes. Then, he instructed them to attack him. His body gradually adapted to 3x gravity. He was fast, though only about 3/4 of his usual speed. Afterwards, Naruto approached the central console and designed a program of his own. He had the GR create a solid steel wall, which he would then strike to measure his power. Backing up from the wall, he launched a power blitz. He pierced halfway through the steel, which was 3 inches thick. He continued ramping up the force of his attacks until the wall finally shattered. Destroying a 3-inch steel barrier required a massive amount of energy. Naruto realized that, to reach the level of his ancestors, he would need to significantly boost his energy output. Exiting the GR, Naruto felt the difference in normal gravity. After adjusting to 3x, 1G felt light and almost strange. He walked to the surface and headed to Team Guy's training grounds, where he saw Lee sparring with his teammates. Lee was testing his body by dodging Tenten's attacks. Naruto had heard that Tenten was a master with kunai, capable of hitting a fly 20 meters away without harming it. He had dismissed it as nonsense, until now. Watching her, he realized the rumors were true. She was precise, almost striking Lee intentionally in ways that wouldn't hurt him, likely because of the upcoming Chunin exams. Since the mini-tournament, Naruto had noticed Lee and Neji getting along much better. He guessed it was due to something Lee had said, which helped Neji loosen up. Neji was slowly becoming someone you could be comfortable around in public. He wasn't as rigid as before, though he remained the leader when Guy wasn't present, which required him to stay somewhat strict. After talking with Lee for a while, Naruto left, remembering he needed to reach the North Gate within 5 minutes. Starting from the south end of Konoha, he sprinted and arrived just as Kakashi did. Naruto and Sasuke walked ahead without acknowledging Kakashi or Sakura, chatting the entire way and ignoring the others. Later that night, Naruto asked Sasuke a question before going to sleep. Hey Sasuke, what changed you in Wave? Before the bridge battle, you weren't like this. You were always a whiny brat. What happened to make you this cool? Sasuke exhaled. What I'm about to tell you, I haven't told anyone. On the bridge, I nearly died. When I got hit for you, all I could see was white. Then, the light faded, and I found myself in an endless grassy field. 3 figures were approaching me. I asked who they were, but they didn't answer. As they got closer, I recognized one figure wearing orange and blue, like what you wear, but the headband was different. Alongside him were people I never expected to see again. Naruto thought Goku. Who were they with him? Sasuke closed his eyes. You won't believe it, it was my parents. Naruto blinked. What? Sasuke continued. Yes, my parents. And before you ask, I know it was them. Dead or alive, I'd recognize their faces anywhere. I thought I was dreaming until my mom said, Hello again, Sasu-chan. Sasuke silenced Naruto's laugh at the nickname. She made that nickname just for me. She said she had been watching over me. My father expressed disappointment, not because I hadn't defeated Itachi, but because I was still chasing him. He admitted something I never expected. What Itachi did was meant to help me. I shouldn't pursue this pointless vendetta. Instead, I should focus on my happiness, friends, and life. He explained that envy and pride are vices, while humility and kindness are virtues. Chasing Itachi meant letting him control my life. What happened next? Naruto asked, intrigued. They said they had run out of time, expressed their love, and then left with the man. Then you brought me back. Naruto asked. So why don't you chase Itachi anymore? Sasuke answered. I don't need to. It wasn't about avenging the clan, it was for my father's acknowledgement. He always praised Itachi but never me. I thought that if I became stronger than Itachi, he would finally see me. When he said what he did, I felt complete, like I could move on. It may sound cheesy, but it's the truth, Naruto chuckled. That's straight out of a soap opera. I almost cried, almost. Sasuke said, I know, but we should sleep. Tomorrow's going to be tough. Good night, Sasuke-chan, Naruto said. Sasuke glared but eventually fell asleep. Next day, the following morning started late because Sakura refused to wake up. She slept until Sasuke burned her tent down, revealing she had slept naked. Embarrassed, she was even more flustered when she discovered Naruto had taken photos. She tried to recover them, but had no idea where Naruto hid them. Naruto simply said he wouldn't return them. Gritting her teeth, she followed the team down the road. The village they arrived at was in ruins. Windows were shattered, some houses burnt to ashes, and trash littered the streets. Naruto knew they would need backup but said nothing, moving forward with the team. Following Kakashi, they circled the village searching for survivors. Suddenly, a man threw a rock at them. It missed, but he gestured for them to follow him into a nearby alley. Inside a dilapidated building, he introduced himself. Thank goodness Konoha got my message. I'm Naikao, one of the few resisting the bandits. Naruto took the lead. Why did the bandits attack? Naikao replied, I don't know. They claimed the village for the golden dragons, destroyed everything, killed the mayor, and eliminated the police. When they raided homes and kidnapped people, we couldn't fight back. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Golden dragons? I thought I disrupted them in Wind Country. Temari said there were hundreds of them. Maybe it's a multinational group. Who leads them? Naikao said. A missing nin from Hidden Rain named Murasame. Another man claims leadership now. The old leader, Teizeki, was killed in Wind Country. Kakashi asked, Teizeki, what happened to him? Naikao eyed him. Are you connected to him? Naruto explained. Teizeki took Kakashi's eye at age 13. Everyone thought he died, but he survived. Naikao apologized. I see. Naruto thought aloud. Seems this group is full of missing nin. Naikao confirmed, yes. Tanbo Tanbatake also wants to control the Wind Country sector. Naruto realized. That matches my theory. The Golden Dragons are a multinational crime organization. Kakashi asked how he knew. Naruto explained, I was in Wind Country before, helping the Kazekage kids defeat bandits. They were part of the Golden Dragons, led by Teizeki. I ended up killing him. Kakashi said, You actually killed Teizeki. Come on, he was a jounin from Iwagakure. You couldn't have beaten him. Naruto replied, I did. And not only did I beat him, I killed him. Being a jounin doesn't automatically make someone unbeatable by a genin. Remember in Wave Country, didn't you mention kids our age could be as strong as you? Naruto hinted that if pushed, he could even take on Kakashi. Kakashi answered, Jounin have far more skill and experience than a genin, so ordinarily a genin wouldn't stand a chance. He understood the challenge hidden in Naruto's words, and he wasn't planning to back down. Is that so? Then what about our mission to Wave just a few days ago? I managed to take down a hunter nin who was stronger than Zabuza, someone you couldn't beat, Naruto countered. Kakashi had no response to that. Naruto continued, besides, the Suna siblings said they kidnapped hundreds. I only destroyed one building. That means this group is way bigger than I imagined. Naikao groaned, oh god. We're screwed. Sasuke said, no, we're here to help, we'll take them down for you. Naikao nodded, grateful. Thank you, Naruto asked. No problem, so when do we strike? Naikao explained. We usually attack around midnight. The plan is to grab some members to question them, but we always fail. Someone is taken hostage each time, and people don't fight back because they fear their families will be targeted. Naruto clenched his fists. Don't worry. By midnight tonight, they'll be the ones losing. Midnight Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, Kakashi, Naikao, and the other rebels were concealed around the city bar. 5 guards were posted outside, with many more inside. Naruto observed that while the inside guards drank, the 5 outside remained sober, guarding against any surprise attack. Before dying, an undercover rebel had shared key information. The bandits were forced to take a breathalyzer after every drink. If it hit .08, they had to stop drinking for the night. Since the human body clears .04 alcohol per hour, in 2 hours they'd be ready to fight again. Some guards stayed sober as a precaution, to maintain defense. The informant also revealed that there were over 300 bandits. That posed a problem since only 20 rebels were present. Naruto thought, this is bad. We can't fight them all on our own. We'll need backup. Then he devised a plan. The ninja lead the charge, the rebels provide support from behind, stepping in only if needed. Each ninja would knock out 3 bandits, then retreat. The rebels would pull back first, followed by the ninja, using smoke bombs to cover their trail. Ninja would remove headbands to protect their villages. Sasuke swapped his Uchiha jacket for a plain white shirt. Kakashi kept a black headband for his Sharingan, though if he were captured, Konoha would likely be implicated. Rebels wore black masks to stay anonymous. Positioned outside the bar, it was 1 minute to midnight. Once the clock struck, they'd storm in, grab 3 people, and retreat. Naruto checked his watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. At exactly 12 o'clock, they charged. Naruto and Sasuke led, followed by Kakashi, Sakura, and the rebels. One guard rushed to intercept. Naruto and Sasuke dodged his punch, rolling under him, while Kakashi jumped in to engage. Naruto and Sasuke quickly split to take on 2 guards each. The bandits weren't strong individually. Their advantage was numbers, but Naruto and Sasuke were elite genin. Naruto dodged punches and sword strikes, letting one hit him to surprise them. With 2 precise blows, both were out. Sasuke required more effort. While equally fast, his strength was lower, so he used 2 kicks to knock his opponents out. Kakashi finished his target and handed the others to the rebels, who transported them to the hideout. Half the mission was complete. Looking inside the bar, Naruto saw around 50 bandits drinking. He sighed. How should we make our presence known? He asked Sasuke. Sasuke grinned. Great ash breakthrough combo. Naruto smirked. I like it. Naruto and Sasuke performed hand seals, chanting together, fire style. Burning ash accumulation, wind style. Great breakthrough. Naruto released a thick black mist of fire, Sasuke a strong gust of wind, combining into an ash cloud that seeped through the door cracks. Sakura called out, You got this, Sasuke-kun, see you back at the hideout. They crashed inside, dodging and incapacitating the bandits. Naruto faced 10 surrounding attackers, but with afterimages and Kai blasts, he quickly disabled them. Sasuke utilized Uchiha techniques to knock down multiple bandits, moving swiftly toward the intoxicated ones. Naruto created clones to subdue additional enemies. Each ninja and clone captured 1 target. When trapped, they noticed Kakashi carrying a bandit and leading the rebels out. Naruto whispered to Sasuke, The only way out is up. Ready? Sasuke nodded, and they leapt through the roof. Naruto tossed his captive into the air, charged a power blitz, and fired at the bar, causing a massive explosion. He caught the person and met up with Sasuke. Hideout 5 minutes later, Naruto and Sasuke landed safely. Their adrenaline still surged as they entered the hideout, where everyone awaited. Naruto's clones brought in the remaining bandits, earning cheers. Naikao approached. I can't thank you enough. Hopefully now we can strike their bases and end them. He paused, then asked, Wait, where's the pink-haired girl? Sasuke frowned in confusion. Hold on, wasn't she with you? Naikao replied. I thought she was with you. Naruto explained. When Sasuke and I set fire to that building, she claimed responsibility for the other 3 we knocked out and left. We assumed she made it back here safely. Naikao frowned. We've been back for a while and she hasn't shown up. What do you think happened to her? Naruto's expression turned serious. This is bad. She can't just vanish on her own. If she's been captured, he let the thought hang, leaving the others to imagine the worst. Kakashi said, Don't worry, hopefully she shows up tomorrow. Some relief spread through the group until a kunai smashed through the window. Attached was a note. Naruto examined it carefully and confirmed it wasn't a bomb, then read it aloud for everyone to hear. We have the pink-haired girl. Deliver 20 million yen and the heads of all the rebels by midnight tomorrow, or my loneliest men will get acquainted with her. Pay up or she will meet a fate far sooner than expected. Time's short, so don't hesitate. Murasame and Naikao gasped. What? Naruto's tone hardened. They've taken Sakura. They want every one of your heads and 20 million yen, or they'll assault her. Sasuke clenched his fists. And how are we supposed to come up with that kind of money? Naruto shook his head. We don't. We save her before anything happens. Sasuke hesitated. But if we go to rescue her at the exchange, they'll be ready. There will be guards watching for us to break our word. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Exactly. That's why we strike at their base in City Hall. If we hit them in the morning, we can rescue her and the others they've captured. Sasuke frowned. We'll need more people than just us for that. Naruto nodded. I know. That's why we need another genin team before we move in. Kakashi cut in. Hold on, I'm the Jounin here. I make the calls. We don't summon reinforcements. We can manage this ourselves. Naruto's eyes widened. He spun to face Kakashi. Are you insane? There are over 300 bandits and probably a couple of missing nin. We're going to need backup. Kakashi shook his head. No, we don't. The three of us are enough. He couldn't let it be known that one of his genin had been captured on his watch. It would ruin him professionally. Naruto stepped forward, voice fierce. No, I don't care what you say, Kakashi. I'm going to Konoha and getting help, whether you approve or not. Kakashi's voice turned cold. You won't. Ninja law states that a genin must follow a jounin's orders outside the village. Disobeying would mean immediate expulsion. I order you to stay. Naruto shot back. Unlike you, Kakashi, I have special permission from the Hokage. If things go south, I was explicitly told I could return to request help. That's exactly what I'm doing. I don't care about your pride. I'm saving Sakura, unlike you, who seems more concerned with your reputation. You talk about the Fourth Hokage like he was a father to you, but right now, you're no match for him. He'd be ashamed if he saw you. Without waiting, Naruto sprinted out. He powered up, going Super Saiyan, and leapt into the air, flying toward Konohagakure faster than ever before. He soared above the clouds to avoid being seen. The village looked serene under the moonlight, but there was no time to admire it. Naruto needed to reach the Hokage Tower immediately. He landed and burst into the office. Oji-san, the Hokage looked up. Did something go wrong on the mission, Naruto? He had hoped Naruto wouldn't return mid-operation, but plans rarely go perfectly. Naruto quickly recounted the situation. Yes. Over 300 bandits have taken control of the city. We tried capturing some drunk ones to gather info, but Sakura left before our plan began. When Sasuke and I returned to the rebel headquarters, she was gone. Then a kunai flew in with a note. They've captured her, demanding 20 million yen and the heads of the rebels or they'll harm her. I came here immediately for backup, against Kakashi's orders. The Hokage's eyes narrowed. Kakashi had overstepped dangerously. Sarutobi could fire him, but the council sided with Kakashi. Sarutobi sighed. The only one who could override the council was above him. Still, he focused on Naruto's safety. Don't worry, Naruto, I'll handle Kakashi, the Hokage said. You need a team at Kiano fast. Naruto glanced at the clock. But who's awake at 12:45 am? The Hokage smirked. We'll assemble a team first thing tomorrow. Time is critical. Sakura's life is at stake. Who do you want on the team? Naruto grinned. Vegeta. If Vegeta joins us, we can cause a bit of chaos while rescuing the hostages. In fact, Vegeta Jr. could probably handle this himself. The Hokage chuckled. Probably. Go easy on the ones you interrogate, they're your first time after all. Naruto dashed out to Lee's house. After pounding on the door, Vegeta answered in a bedsheet. It's past midnight. What do you want? Naruto explained the situation. Vegeta sighed. Give me 15 minutes. He returned, now dressed in his usual attire, and took off with Naruto to the Hokage Tower before heading to Kiano. Flying toward the city, Vegeta commented, Your sensei didn't want to save her, huh? Naruto shook his head. Exactly. He thought he could handle it alone. I called in someone reliable. Vegeta smirked. Good. Let's clean up these fools. Naruto added, First, I need your help with some interrogation. Vegeta grunted. I'm not the best, but I'll do it. Kiano passed midnight. Naruto and Vegeta landed at the hideout. Naruto powered down. Inside, they saw Kakashi questioning one of the captives. Vegeta shoved him aside. Step back, let me handle this. Vegeta locked eyes with the man. A minute later, the captive began sweating. Okay, I'll talk. The girl's probably in the prison yard with the others. Vegeta pressed further. What are your leader's strengths? What jutsu, kenjutsu, tell me. I don't know anything, the man cried. Vegeta punched him, knocking him out instantly. Naruto stared in disbelief. Vegeta explained, It's called killer intent. It overwhelms someone in the presence of power, creating fear and hopelessness. Directed properly, it forces someone to envision a violent, painful death. Important skill, you should learn it. Vegeta pushed the unconscious man aside and placed another in his spot. Your buddy said he didn't know the leader's fighting style. Do you? The man foolishly dared to meet Vegeta's gaze. Within seconds, he whimpered like his companion. The leader, he's incredible with taijutsu and kenjutsu. He can even form these razor-sharp wires from water that can slice anyone trapped by them. And he knows a lot of water jutsu. That's all I can tell you, he stammered. Vegeta knocked him unconscious. All right, that's everything we need. First, we storm the prison yard and free the captives they're holding. But here's the thing, we'll need to eliminate every bandit. Leaving even one alive could let them seize the village again. We either kill them all or they'll come back in even greater numbers. I don't enjoy killing, but if we want to save these people, it's necessary, and you all know it. Kakashi stepped forward, annoyed. Hold on, just who do you think you are? I'm the lead jounin on this mission. Vegeta smirked. Try again. He dug into his pocket and pulled out a signed document. Hokage approved. I'm officially in charge of this mission until it's complete. Naruto explained the situation, and the Hokage put me in command. Now quiet, fool. Vegeta continued. Once we free Pinky from the prison yard, we head straight for City Hall. We can't give them time to bolster defenses. Speed is key. Naruto and I will lead the strike into the yard. Meanwhile, 5 of you, he gestured to the rebels, will go with the Uchiha. He pointed at Sasuke to release the prisoners. When you confirm everyone's free, we eliminate all bandits and then advance on City Hall to take out the leader. Kakashi, you and the others will already be there, keeping City Hall under pressure. As a jounin, you'll manage the bandits to distract them from our path. We need absolute speed. You 5 with the Uchiha get only 5 minutes to free the captives. Understood, the group nodded. Good. Naruto couldn't help but admire Vegeta. He'd crafted this strategy in just 2 minutes. All of you rest now. We move at noon tomorrow. No exceptions. Pinky's life and this town depend on it. Noon next day, Keanu the following day, everyone took positions. Though 20 in number, the rebels disguised themselves as homeless villagers, hiding their weapons in shallow holes beneath their bodies. Murasame had looted so extensively that seeing beggars was normal, making the disguise perfect. At the strike of noon, Kakashi and the villagers shed their disguises and surged toward City Hall. Kakashi performed handseals, then shouted, Earth-style, Earth Dragon Missile Jutsu! A massive mud dragon erupted from the ground, smashing through the doors and anyone nearby. Kakashi sprinted inside, kunai in hand, slicing through bandits flooding the entrance. The rebels followed closely, swords drawn, cutting down the nearest foes. With Naruto, Vegeta, and Sasuke at noon, the rebels removed their disguises and charged forward. Naruto and Vegeta led them. Naruto bent slightly, cupping his hands and charging a pale blue energy, while Vegeta positioned his hands near his chest, igniting royal purple energy. Together they shouted, Kamehameha/Gallic Gun, fire! Their combined blasts shattered the wall. Amid the smoke, they dashed forward, rebels in tow. Sasuke immediately sprinted for the prison, 5 bandits in pursuit. The rest stayed with Vegeta and Naruto, drawing weapons. No hesitation, Vegeta instructed. Victory is mandatory. Naruto, Vegeta, and the rebels engaged any bandits in their path. With Vegeta, Vegeta faced the bandits. Pathetic, he muttered, charging. He punched the first attacker in the chest, breaking ribs, vanished, then landed a boot to the back of his head. Another bandit swung a kick, which Vegeta dodged, countering with a punch and a left kick. He flipped beneath a sweep, kicked the assailant, then tossed him into 3 others. A punch came at him. He twisted the attacker's arm until it snapped and flung him into the air. Seeing more foes approach, Vegeta formed handseals. Fire style, Apollo's fury, he yelled. A massive geyser of fire erupted, incinerating all in its path. With Naruto charged, dodging a punch and hitting the bandit in the chest. He deflected a sword strike, shattering it, then struck the assailant again. Jumping, he formed handseals and shouted, Lightning style, false darkness jutsu! A colossal lightning beast surged forward, detonating and obliterating nearby bandits. Landing, Naruto formed more handseals. Water style. Water bullet jutsu. A massive water projectile shot from his mouth, striking the enemy horde. Naruto and Vegeta's assault created chaos, allowing Sasuke and his squad to reach the prisoners. With Sasuke waited until Naruto and Vegeta drew attention, then charged the prison with 5 rebels. At the bottom of the stairs, 13 guards awaited. Sasuke flipped over most, landed, and kicked one aside. Dodging punches while performing handseals, he finished with fire style, grand fireball jutsu, engulfing the guards in flames. Seeing the rebels defeating bandits with ease, Sasuke realized the numerical advantage the bandits had was irrelevant due to the rebels' skill. After the last guard fell, he found the key and freed the prisoners, including Sakura. Ignoring her thanks, he led them out. Outside, remaining bandits were engaged. Naruto had minor cuts, but all bandits were soon eliminated. Too easy. How many did you see inside? He asked Sasuke. 13, Sasuke replied. Vegeta counted. I tally 143, over half are down. Let's move to City Hall. Now. They ran toward City Hall when 6 kunai landed ahead. Vegeta recognized them as explosive. Everyone back! They avoided the blast. 3 enemies emerged, wearing black vests and shirts with dragon emblems. Vegeta recognized them instantly. Working for the Golden Dragons, huh? The tallest spoke. Yes, you've interfered with our operations. You must be eliminated. Hope you prepared your wills. Vegeta grinned and said, I hope you're ready, you're mine. Naruto, Sasuke, take care of the other 2. The man in the center growled, your end is close. The trio of unknown shinobi rushed toward Naruto, Sasuke, and Vegeta. Vegeta met Toguro, the tall one, head-on. Their fists collided, pushing against each other with sheer force. Vegeta swung a kick at Toguro, but he leapt back and hurled an explosive kunai. Vegeta caught it midair and threw it back. Toguro tried to catch it again, but Vegeta fired a Kai blast simultaneously, striking Toguro's hand and detonating the kunai against his face. When the smoke cleared, Toguro remained standing. A small burn marked his face, but otherwise he was unharmed. Vegeta narrowed his eyes and charged. Toguro smirked and advanced. Vegeta dodged a punch and landed a solid right hook, followed by a left foot kick that sent Toguro flying. He then unleashed a barrage of Kai blasts. After some time, Vegeta paused. The smoke dissipated, revealing Toguro, whose skin was dented and bleeding, deep layers visible in a gruesome display. But suddenly, the wounds vanished completely. Vegeta stared in shock. What the hell? He muttered. Toguro laughed. Impressed, it's a rare bloodline. Any damage I suffer heals instantly. I can take hits most people can't survive and walk away unharmed. Great for me, terrible for you. Once your energy drains, you're defenseless. Sasuke's battle. Sasuke faced the shortest of the Golden Dragons, Ryu. Ryu lunged with a punch, but Sasuke dodged and countered with a kick to the face. Ryu flipped back to his feet, charged, and dodged another kick before landing a punch to Sasuke's chest. Sasuke was sent flying and barely managed to flip upright, only to be struck again. Ryu hadn't moved from his spot. Sasuke got up, scowling. Time to change that, he muttered, forming hand seals. Fire style. Grand fireball jutsu? The fireball surged toward Ryu, who raised a hand. The flame stopped abruptly, as if blocked by an invisible barrier. Ryu then charged, and Sasuke narrowly avoided a head strike, countering with a knee to the stomach, but was flung 10 feet back. Ryu smirked. Curious how I did that, aren't you? Sasuke knelt and executed more hand seals. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. 20 fireballs erupted, all hitting the invisible barrier. Sasuke hurled 3 kunai, which were stopped again. Ryu twisted, thrusting his hand forward. The kunai flew back at Sasuke, barely destroyed by 3 Kai blasts. I have a unique bloodline, Ryu said. It's complicated, but it lets me manipulate chakra in ways you can't imagine. He sent a wave of chakra, forming an invisible wall toward Sasuke, who leapt and barely evaded. This guy controls chakra to its extremes. This won't be easy, Sasuke thought. Naruto's fight. The medium-height fighter, Kenji, launched at Naruto. Naruto jumped over him, blasting a Kai attack backward. Kenji deflected it, then leapt and punched Naruto in the stomach, hitting harder than expected. A kick sent Naruto to the ground, but he rolled away from another incoming blow. Naruto rose, vanished, and reappeared with a punch to Kenji's face, followed by a knee strike to the stomach. Charging a Kai blast, Naruto fired it, which exploded against Kenji's deflection. Kenji vanished and reappeared, forcing Naruto to duck a punch. Naruto retaliated with another Kai-charged punch, sending Kenji flying. Kenji laughed, mocking Naruto. You're strong, like your friends, all except the pink-haired one. But my team is stronger. We're the Hydra division of the Golden Dragons, enhanced through experiments giving us incredible powers. Toguro regenerates instantly, Ryu manipulates massive chakra, and I have super speed and strength. You have potential, but I'm stronger. Prepare to die. Kenji swung at Naruto, but energy surrounded him, forming a protective coat. The punch hit, then exploded outward, knocking Kenji back. Naruto vanished and reappeared beside him. Kenji landed a hit, sending Naruto backward. He's stronger than I thought, Naruto thought. Naruto phased behind Kenji, grabbed him, and launched into the air. At 200 feet, he released him mid-fall, charging an attack. Riot Javelin! The strike hit Kenji head-on during freefall. Vegeta versus. Toguro Vegeta charged, punching Toguro in the face and chest, sending him flying. He followed with a flurry of punches, then an upward kick. Gathering energy in his hand, he fired, shouting, "Atomic Blast!" The attack hit, breaking Toguro's leg and arm. Moments later, his body regenerated completely. Vegeta muttered, "Impossible." Toguro chuckled. "I told you I can't be killed. Any damage is instantly repaired. Aging cells are replaced. I'm invincible and immortal." Vegeta growled. "Invincible, immortal, we'll see about that." He gathered energy with a royal purple glow and fired a Gallic gun, fire. The beam struck Toguro, frying and electrocuting him. Yet as he healed, Toguro executed hand seals. Earth-style, Earth Dragon Jutsu. The ground rose, shaped like a dragon, crashing toward Vegeta. More seals followed. Earth-style. Revolving Spirit Earth Palm Jutsu. Toguro manipulated the terrain, burying Vegeta underground. Toguro laughed. "I told you I cannot be defeated." The ground shook violently. A golden light burst through as Vegeta emerged in Super Saiyan form, eyes blazing. "Enough of your taunting. You buried me, now you die." Vegeta charged, punching and kicking Toguro, then firing a red-orange energy blast. Big Bang Attack! The beam struck, and when the smoke cleared, Toguro was obliterated. Only his skull and a fragment of brain remained. Vegeta smirked. Satisfactory. With Sasuke leapt as Ryu launched another chakra barrier at him. He tried to land, but found himself suspended midair, not by his own power, but because Ryu had caught him. Slowly, Ryu began closing his grip. As his hand tightened, Sasuke felt his body being crushed. Panic surged through him. This isn't good. If I don't escape now, I'm done for. Wait, maybe there's a way. Focusing intensely, Sasuke directed chakra into his 2 fingers until they burned with energy. Then he released it in a narrow, concentrated beam. The blast shot toward Ryu, who barely managed to raise a shield in time to block it. Sasuke tried to break free again, but the hold persisted. Just as he was about to resign to defeat, Ryu noticed Kenji plummeting from the sky. Shifting his attention to saving Kenji, Ryu released Sasuke. Seizing the moment, Sasuke lunged at Ryu, twisting midair and delivering a sharp kick to his face. He quickly formed hand seals and shouted, "Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu!" 20 fireballs erupted from Sasuke, striking Ryu head-on. Charging again, Sasuke noticed Ryu's hands glowing with chakra. He barely avoided a spectral, claw-like strike aimed at his throat, realizing the Sharingan was allowing him to track it. Landing, he swung at Ryu, but each punch met a solid barrier. Undeterred, Sasuke continued relentlessly, but the shield refused to break. Sasuke leapt back, forming new hand seals, and landed in the tiger seal stance. Channeling chakra into his mouth, he vaulted over Ryu and unleashed Fire Style. Grand Fireball Jutsu. The massive fireball soared from his inverted position directly at Ryu. The attack collided with Ryu's barrier, and Sasuke, floating midair, maintained the assault. His chakra waned, but he continued firing, testing Ryu's endurance. Ryu struggled. Even with above-average chakra reserves, fending off such repeated strikes drained him. Unable to sustain the shield, he released it and leapt back, casting a genjutsu to create false images of Sasuke's remains. Spotting Toguro about to be struck, he simultaneously cast an illusion over Vegeta's eyes, making him believe he had defeated Toguro. With Naruto watched as Kenji fell from the sky, free-falling. As he descended, he was astonished Kenji landed unharmed. Naruto landed nearby and asked, "How did you survive that?" Kenji smirked. "Ryu caught me in time, that's why I'm fine." Naruto's eyes narrowed. You'll wish he didn't once I'm done with you. Naruto vanished and reappeared behind Kenji, swinging at his head. Kenji spun to block it. Naruto thrust his hand forward, charging a blast at point-blank range, sending Kenji flying with blood trickling from his face. Naruto lunged again, nearly landing a punch, but Kenji phased out, reappearing to strike him. The cycle continued. Kenji vanished and struck, then vanished and struck again, each hit landing with precision. Kenji's relentless combo inflicted significant damage. Landing a kick to Naruto's stomach, he sent him crashing into a nearby prison. Kenji advanced through the smoke with a punch, only to have it caught. Just before reacting, he was struck in the chest, flying backward toward their initial battle spot, Naruto following in Super Saiyan mode. Naruto pressed the assault, raining blows upon Kenji, who couldn't match the ferocity. Pain overwhelmed him, and Naruto didn't relent. With a powerful kick, he sent Kenji flying. Gasping, Kenji called out to Ryu, "We need to retreat." Together, they ran toward Ryu and Toguro, making their way out of the village. Naruto gave chase, but Ryu raised his hands, toppling two nearby houses toward him. Naruto barely dodged, then found they were too far ahead to pursue. He returned to the prison yard, muttering, "I couldn't catch them." Vegeta observed calmly, "Doesn't matter, we'll see them again soon. For now, let's head to City Hall and help Kakashi." City Hall. Kakashi was overwhelmed. He'd taken down 50 enemies before more arrived, and the sheer numbers made his situation dire. With each enemy defeated, 2 more replaced them. He wondered if Naruto and the others would arrive in time. Suddenly, a thunderous roar confirmed his hope. Ducking just in time, he watched as a beast of lightning streaked over him, obliterating 10 attackers. Vegeta, Sasuke, and Naruto leapt over the strike, attacking the remaining foes. Naruto paused as Vegeta and Sasuke pressed their assault. He focused his energy, transforming into Super Saiyan. Charging invisibly, he plowed through bandits, striking so swiftly that they were sent flying. Within 2 minutes, every attacker was down. Naruto reverted to his normal form, exhausted from the transformation. As he surveyed the scene, the villagers and rebels emerged unharmed. Searching for Murasame, he noticed a kunai shatter a window nearby, carrying a message. Reading it aloud, "No doubt you're looking for me. Too bad. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. You freed the captives and saved the pink-haired girl. Impressive. I could kill you easily, but I'd rather play with you for a while. Oh, and I've rigged explosives around the building, set to detonate once you read this. Enjoy." Murasame. Naruto growled, "Everyone, evacuate, explosives are set." But the detonation triggered immediately. Naruto and Vegeta ensured the villagers escaped safely. With only a few remaining, they guided them out, and the building exploded behind them. The villagers cheered, celebrating their freedom as the bandits fled, leaving the village to rebuild. Before leaving, Naruto promised the villagers of Kiano that Konoha would always come to their aid if bandits returned. Grateful, they thanked him endlessly.